The realest, best podcast in the game.
You want to know what's been irritating me a lot lately? People saying Euphoria High School. And not
What's the name of the show?
Well, that's because they've said the name of the high school twice.
But
ever in the whole show. No, they have not.
Look it up.
I had to Google it, and then I Googled when it's said in the show. It's been said twice.
I didn't even Google when it was said. I just said, I just Googled.
But they never say it. So I understand why. Like, it's not like a show where the name of the school is like prevalently said. Like,
it's not, but I was
fit right now.
I'm just upset because like, bro, stop saying.
Also, Euphoria High School sounds cooler.
It does
in my
not.
opinion. I think Euphoria
Still
High School
neat.
sounds a lot better. Eastlake sounds like if somebody just made an Eastlake High School joke, I could like easily just think it's about a real school.
Well,
I would have thought it was
like
about.
fans beat that boy to a pulp.
That
I
sounds
didn't
Is
know
that a
they-
spoiler?
Yeah. If they hadn't seen that episode,
the first episode.
well, I just recently.
I just feel like it's not a key plot point. I feel like spoilers are like for like key plot points or like reveals.
Yeah, he meant halfway up.
I mean, I guess maybe it is clear. I don't know. We're only 2 episodes into the season. But
I feel like they could save 5-6 minutes without all these weird dramatic shots. Like, I get it that it's very, very like they're wanting to like dramatize it, but it wasn't this many last season. This season it's so many like somebody standing in a hallway and there's light on them, dark everywhere else, and it's like 3 seconds of us zooming in.
Well,
we don't need that every scene.
There's 3 main things that I think a lot of, to speak to that point, not just about Euphoria, but kind of just about film and television in general, is that something that like just the average person watching something does not care about and probably doesn't even understand the importance of, but is extremely important, and the art behind it and like the contextual history and art behind it is extremely important, is cinematography. And things like that, like those are all cinematography choices made by the DPs. And a lot of times they are actually like so like, for example, I won't use Euphoria and I won't use that as like a way to like show how those choices are more than just choices being made in a vacuum.
Yeah.
1917, the movie by Sam Mendes, whether we've seen it or not, we know that for the majority of the movie is like one shot. It's tracking the main character, George, whatever his name is. That's the actor's name. I can't remember his last name. Is like running to like deliver these messages amidst war, and a lot of it is just like real life, him running the beats, very long shots, and all of that, like from a technical place, it's like a decision and it's cool, but like it also is like a very important thematic thing for like displaying a lot of the psychological horror and like realness of war and things of that nature. And so like, whereas you could shoot a movie just regularly like Saving Private Ryan and still have the effects of war be told, that's a choice that he's making to tell a specific through line in the story with, you know what I mean, his DP, Roger Deakins. I think that was Roger Deakins. I want to say it was Roger Deakins. I could be wrong. And so, bringing it back to the Euphoria example, I'm almost positive that the reason why there's more this season than there is last season is because it is speaking to some specific theme that with time will like have more revelation. But I also think that this season, every character is a lot more isolated already than they were last season. Like last season, we literally had episodes dedicated to characters, and they still weren't nearly as isolated, like emotionally and psychologically, as they are now.
It was just
from
their perspective.
Yeah, it could be, you know, that, it could be other things. But the point I'm making to that is that, like, you have the right to not like them as a choice, but oftentimes, like, when those types of decisions are made, if they are made with the mental process of like enhancing the actual story, whether you like them or not, like the people who did it don't care.
And
like that's kind of like the whole
that makes
like,
sense because
like,
they put it in it.
But even
there's
certain things that like you put in something you make, but like you care if people like or not. But like if I'm Zack Snyder and someone's like, I feel this way. I love the cinematography of the Snyder Cut of Justice League, but it has way too many slow-mo shots, right? To speak to that, like, it's a 4-hour movie, and I think 35 to 45 minutes could be cut if all of the slow-mo scenes were just like half as long as they were. They don't even have to not be slow-mo, just make them not as long. And with that being said, Zack Snyder doesn't care because it's important to telling his story about all of these characters, specifically opposed Superman, and like no one's saying like there's too many really long slow motion. Like Zack Snyder's like, I don't care.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I think I'm like one of the only people that feel that way, except for like one person that I watched it with, and we were both
About Euphoria?
Yeah,
I've seen people say that on Twitter.
Okay, I've seen so many people say, "Oh, I love the cinematography."
The people I've seen say that on Twitter don't like Euphoria. You're probably the first person I've seen who's a fan of Euphoria who doesn't like those.
Ozark comes back tomorrow.
It does,
I'm
but
saying
I'm nowhere near caught up, so I can't care.
Snowfall comes
I
back.
literally binged Ozark in like a week and a half.
You said ditched?
Binged.
Oh, I thought you said you watched it. I thought you
Because
said
I
you
just
watched
finished it like 3 days ago.
Yeah, I'm still in season 2.
It's so good. It's
Yeah, I gotta-
really good.
You have to be a patient watcher with Ozark because it starts off a little slow, and there are a lot of slow moments, but those.
I don't feel like
I think starting off slow isn't accurate. I think after it starts, there's like a slow in between.
Actually, yeah,
the
you're
first episode,
It's
the
like,
second
boom,
scene,
boom.
niggas
Yeah.
is in acid. Like
Yeah.
it starts off
That's
pretty
what
good,
reeled me in.
but
I
then
said,
once they
oh,
move
okay.
to the
Yeah.
Ozark, it's like
It's a little slow,
Mhm.
but
It's
then those
so good,
moments
though.
that
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
I think-
Especially like the end of the last season,
Yeah.
it left you on like a what the heck just happened type of thing.
I think Ozark's one of the best shows right now at like building tension without like forcing you to see their building tension.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of shows like you can tell when you've watched the scene, it's like that's gonna be important later. With Ozark, you can't really pinpoint like, oh, that's a critical moment. That's a lot. Like I'm not caught up. I'm still in season 2, but granted, I haven't been watching it for like over a year because I was just like, one day I'll like get back on and watch, and that day hasn't come yet. Nonetheless, I was watching an episode and I was like, that connects to like 2 lines in like the 4th episode of season 1. Like, oh my god, the through line and the tension and like how that thing that felt like a throwaway is now this massive conflict. Like, I just think they do that beautifully, and I think they do it better than most shows on TV right now.
Facts.
Yeah. That's really
They say
good.
Korea keep
Is
the
water
Netflix
wet?
lights on.
No,
What you about to say?
he asked, "Is water wet?"
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Explain.
How is it not wet?
Because
because
wet
being
is
wet
verb.
is a like
It's an
result
action.
of
It's an action.
interaction with
I can
being.
describe something as wet.
Yeah,
Yes,
plant
you can.
is wet.
Being wet is like a result of
Being wet, you're
con-
turning it into a verb, but the word wet can be used as an adjective on its own. I think
Yes.
you have to add something before it to make
Even
it a verb.
wetness in and of itself is a result of contact with liquid.
So fish
a
are
liquid-
wet.
No, fish are wet because they are making contact with liquid. Fish are not liquid. The liquid is not wet.
Okay. But water
Can fish drown?
No,
Whoa.
at least not naturally.
Yeah, not that.
Fish can drown, but not like they shouldn't just naturally like. It's
There
the
was
sa- like if
sorry,
a fish is lung or lung equivalent is punctured, I'm sure like that could make it drown. But I don't think fish are just drowning because that.
That's their habitat. No, I'm playing. There was an old commercial that was like it was some substance, and I remember distinctly the announcer was like a Billy Mays type of person, and he was like, "This you add this to so and so, and it makes water wetter." And I was like
What?
watching the TV, and I had to rewind it a few times before I realized that's what he was saying, because I was like, I know he's not saying it makes water wetter, because how do you even measure that?
Must have been one of them gas station pills.
It was out. Hey man, don't take them things, bro. They like
Parental
That's
discretion.
not
Hey,
That's
did you
such a
see that
layered
Mr.
joke.
Barrett,
bro.
One where homie kidnapped Shorty from the coffee shop
Yes.
and then killed her.
I've seen almost every of his videos. Like the only ones I haven't seen, there are some where I
That man
refuse
is
to watch
so
them
terrible.
at night.
And he killed like
What
more
show
people.
you
Yeah.
talking about?
He's talking about Mr. Ballin, the YouTuber that I watch. He
Oh,
tells dark,
Mr.
scary, and
Ballin.
mysterious stories.
I
Shout out
know
Mr.
who he
Ballin.
is.
I've put so many people
I
onto
have to
you, man.
watch one.
Granted,
Watch one.
you-
You'll get hooked.
He-
I be watching them to work. And
it's
I'm like,
it's literally. I mean, if you're someone like me, right? If you're a true crime watcher, you watching documentaries, you love serial killers, not that I love them, but I'm obsessed with learning
Why
about them.
are we so obsessed with learning about like what?
Well, I know a lot of people who aren't. Like
Yeah,
it's not a. But I know when I was younger, I became interested in serial killers because
The pause.
I'll be honest. So I was like, maybe 11, and I was like, if I ever become a serial killer, I don't want to do nothing anyone else has done. Therefore, I gotta know the game.
That is such a childlike.
And I started
mentality.
learning the game for that. But then I was like, oh my god,
These people are
the
horrible.
psyche of these men and the few women that like are recorded in history is crazy. I gotta tap more into this. And but I feel like I like serial killers the same reason why I love the Joker. Like I see a bit of me in them, but not enough. But
That's hilarious.
But yeah, like if you like stuff like that and you watch Mr. Ballin, it'll be almost impossible for you to like. He's like Lay's chips. You cannot watch just one video.
Just nope.
He asked me to send him one video, and now like
I'm hooked.
I love.
I seen a
Mr.
short, a TikTok of one where a guy was studying, I guess with a teacher or a tutor or something, and he woke up and came and was like, "Y'all wanted to get some certain type of chicken." Or something like that, and then it was somebody up under her bed or something. Dang.
Oh yes, I do. I just saw that yesterday, actually.
Dang.
Yeah, that thing flew too.
That's unfortunate. That's wild. I need to see the extended version of that.
Yeah, I just saw that one yesterday. I actually went to like his shorts page yesterday just because I was like, I watched his latest video and I was like, I've watched almost everything except the ones I refuse to watch at night, and like I never.
What?
There's a few of them that are like. That they'll be like, I don't know if they really are, but like in the caption or the title, it'll be about like demon possession or something like that. And I don't have a problem watching them, just not at night. I'll be up at like 3, 4, 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And my house is old and there be figures in it. And I don't know if they haunted the house or me, because some of them went to Kennesaw with me. But still, the point is that I'm not about to watch a video about, oh, the FBI caught this demon live in 4K. At 4 in the morning,
Yeah.
God, and it's raining. No, I'm cool. But like I never end up on his page during the daytime. So then I just like haven't seen those. But outside of that, I've seen almost everything.
Mr. Ballin.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Stuff like that is interesting. Like when it comes for me to listen to that type of stuff, like I like unsolved ones. Like not in a good way. I mean, I don't mean that like that.
Said he is not trying to hear about justice.
Yeah, it's like the one on Netflix about the lady who was like crazy and they like put a collar on somebody's neck and he tried to rob a bank
Yes,
and he
Oh,
blew
there
up.
you go.
that's not unsolved though.
There was a movie about
That
that.
one was
Yes.
crazy though.
With the guy from Harold and Kumar. No, he's Aziz
They
Ansari.
saw that?
Aziz
Like, years
Ansari
later?
is not the dude from Harold.
No,
Kumar.
I know, but he's in the movie with Mark Zuckerberg, the guy that played Mark Zuckerberg in
Jesse Eisenberg.
Jesse
Yeah,
Jesse Eisenberg and Aziz
Are you
Ansari
talking
are
about
in a
30
movie
minutes
together.
or less?
that's that movie, right?
I don't think 30 Minutes or Less is
That's
about that
That's not.
documentary.
I don't think that was at all.
I haven't
It is-
seen
that
30
is a-
Minutes or Less, but isn't it a comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like he puts a bomb around his neck and he has to rob a bank.
I mean, yeah, okay, that is the concept of the movie, but I don't think it's not based off of that.
Can't-
It's not based off of
Does
the
his
story.
head blow off at the end? 'Cause spoiler alert, that's what happened in real life.
Oh yeah, I've seen that though.
The
That's
documentary
'cause it's a
is
Netflix
really-
documentary.
really
Yeah, that's
good,
right. Yeah.
But
Yeah, they did solve it later.
yeah. But
Like, yeah,
listening
like,
to some of these
way
videos,
later.
Yeah.
you can see how some of these guys be sloppy. Like the guy that killed the lady and then was in Texas.
Hannibal. Talking about some sloppy.
No, he was sloppy. Like
I mean, sloppy. Hannibal got caught too, so you couldn't have been
Yeah.
that
Why you
pristine.
grading these men?
Like you
Some people are better than
because
others.
think
so.
about
True,
it. You
yeah.
demand a ransom, and then you're using the girl you killed's debit card to withdraw the money like it's not traceable.
That's just stupid.
That's
Dumb.
stupid.
That's
And that's
really
why he
bad.
got caught.
Well,
Have y'all seen Don't
stupid
F with
stupid
Cats?
does.
No.
That is
Yes.
a good.
That's one of. I literally want
Oh
to
my
rewatch
gosh,
it. Like
it is so
What's it
good.
about?
Oh,
it's a
no,
Netflix
I haven't.
docu series.
It's so good.
It's
about,
so
I thought it
like,
was-
Is it about like actual
this
cats?
model
It's
guy
about this
who's basically
dude.
a killer. He's like luring other like young men,
It's
sleeping
wild.
with them, killing them. He has like a whole bunch of demonic videos up, but it's like a whole Facebook community
Of
that
people
comes
trying to track him
together
down
and
because
literally like solves the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like they're sending all the clues to the FBI to everybody.
But you know,
This is a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
in
it's a
the
docuseries.
community
So it's not
on social media, like
what's the man's name?
we can solve
Jeffrey.
murders.
No.
Wait,
Yeah.
you say no to me?
No. To him.
What were you saying?
He says that people can solve murders.
We
And
can solve
ideally that
murders.
is true.
And like so,
We
I
shouldn't
work
have
with the
to.
feds.
we
though.
shouldn't have to, but in social media platform, Black Twitter, Reddit, like with just a little bit of details, like especially women, their detective skills, they will find out. Like I think they found Dolph's killer. Twitter did
On Twitter
I
found
don't,
Dolph's
I
killer?
don't think
before
Twitter
the
did.
feds did.
Oh,
I don't think Twitter found Dolph's killer before Twitter. I mean, I don't think Twitter found Dolph's killer before.
Oh,
They
I
just
could
was
be
posting
mistaken.
his picture, like, watch who you be around, because he
Oh.
was around Dolph.
Never mind.
Dolph.
I'm pretty sure he was named a suspect.
So they solved the murder.
Pretty much, yeah. They were like going
Murders.
through all of his videos on YouTube, all of his different pages, all his like old
It's
model
really
pics.
good.
Like,
I
you should.
gotta
Watch. It's
watch
really good.
I'm so far.
It really
behind
showed
on
me the
shows.
dedication of white people.
I need
No,
to.
yeah,
I need to make like a
literally.
list of shows I need to watch
I have a list
because I still haven't finished
for
Money
movies and
Heist.
shows.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can get back into Money Heist.
I never started it, but I always
They
said I
had me
would eventually.
locked for a minute, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
What else?
It's always harder for me to watch foreign shows.
Is
because
Stranger
I
Things
have to
gonna
watch
finish
them.
recording? Because
Yeah.
these kids is not getting any younger.
Yeah,
What?
the new season is literally dropping this year.
What you
This
talking
summer.
about?
Oh, word?
You know they refuse to drop outside of like July, so it's just coming this July.
What show you talking about?
Stranger Things.
Yeah, the trailer for that was like last year.
Literally.
I'm sure we'll have more stuff.
I gotta finish The Witcher.
Is The Witcher
I'm not
good?
watching
I
The
love
Witcher
it.
yet.
Oh, I like it. Did you? He didn't. You was watching. He walked out. He was in my room, and
I watched it. I watched it on my own for a little bit, and I was just like, "This is too much information." Like it's such a short,
Oh yeah, he
weird period
said.
of time.
He said that it was. What did you say? It was.
It was way too much happening in the span of like a half an episode.
That's a bad thing.
I couldn't like follow the timeline.
Did you start at the beginning?
Yes. And then at some point I realized, I was like, oh, this has to be based off something, because they're skipping. Like they're just like moving. I can tell the way, you know what I'm saying? Just the way the continuity was of it.
Interesting.
I was
I
just
mean,
like,
it is
yo.
based off the video game series, which is based off the comic book.
Right, so I figured that out after I stopped watching. I was like, oh, that makes sense. There was a heap of information already there.
Well, 97% of things that come out are adaptations of something else. There's very few original TV shows and movies being created like that are just spawned original ideas.
Makes sense, but you know, most of them stuff be coming out like in the 80s. Originally. Like it took me like a year to figure out Freaky Friday was a remake of a remake.
Which Freaky Friday are you talking about?
The one that came out with Lizzie Lohan and
Yes.
Jamie Lynn.
yeah,
Yes, that is a remake.
so
So
a remake.
did y'all see?
Yeah,
You
but
said
the
Jamie
original
Lynn
Curtis.
nobody counts.
True.
Is that
Jamie
like
Lee.
Did you
What
say
they
Kirby?
It's not Lynn.
Sorry. Who was Lynn? That's my
Jamie
Spears?
Lynn Spears.
Yeah.
That's Spears.
And we not rocking with her right
He
now.
is not rocking with that girl.
I'm out of white people's beef. I'm sorry. Free Britney, she free.
Britney.
I was fighting for her freedom.
It's
She's free
backwards.
now. She got to get her own get back. If you got beef with people still,
Yeah.
you got to handle that on your own.
I ain't gonna lie, I seen the picture.
Granted, I didn't do
of
nothing to
Jamie.
help
I
her
was
get
like,
free,
she
but
still
still.
look good.
I never was a Jamie Lynn Spears fan, but that's because I don't like Zoe 101.
I never like
And everyone told me that I was tripping, but I think like I just didn't start liking Nickelodeon live action shows until I was like in middle school, because I hated Ned's Declassified too. I thought it was not funny, and I thought all of the characters were too like over the top to not be funny.
I was
I
just
get
watching it. Like it was just something to have on. Like it
Hated
wasn't.
Naked Brothers Band,
Yeah, well,
I don't even remember that show, bro.
that's the night.
The Spit, or just him
Oh
in
my
general,
God.
because he's been catching a lot of slander outside of
Yes.
the Spit too.
Really? For
Yeah.
what?
People
The
just don't
Spit?
rock with him.
Why?
They just feel like he's like Mike Todd.
Mike Todd.
People just feel like he's just like almost like a pandering pastor. Like he don't really
False
care about
prophets.
preaching the word. He just like tries to go viral, and he be
Oh,
saying a bunch of
okay.
mahogany. And
Yeah.
there's accusations that like he's not a very good husband. or
Okay,
that he
before
be
we get
cheating.
into
I don't
this,
know
do
anything
y'all want
about
to talk about it? Because I have an opinion
about him or about
Okay.
the Spit?
about him in the spin.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
Talk
get
about
the
it.
groups, because
sure.
you know
It's been
that's
hot
a
Are you about
in
to-
the mesosphere.
No, go ahead.
What? In
No,
regards to
Yeah,
what?
say what you about to say, because I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
I got an opinion
I'm
about
gonna-
him, but it's like it's not like
What you
a
about to say?
horrible thing, but
I didn't know if your opinion was gonna be good or not. Because you're gearing it up, like you about to
Yeah,
have
you
like a
saying
hot
let's talk
take,
about
like
it.
it's
No,
gonna
no,
be
no.
okay.
I mean, well, it might be hot, might be lukewarm. Who knows? So my I'll start with the spit, right? The spit was a gross misinterpretation of the text because now all I saw was the clip. I didn't see the full sermon to know whether or not his point was sound or solid or not. But the spit to me was just like it was very degrading, it was disrespectful, it was disgusting in the midst of a pandemic. Like, to me, it was very theatrical.
In a Panamera?
In a Panamera, exactly. Very theatrical, but I've come to know that that's who Mike Todd as a person is. He's very extra, he's very clickbait-ish, but that to me was just gross. Now, I'm not going to cancel a person because me personally, I wouldn't want to be judged in my low point, you know what I mean? And then have people turn their back on me or whatever. But to me, that was just, like, I'm thinking the guy had to have known what was going on. And I'm pretty sure Mike had to have run that past somebody. And somebody had to have said, that's a bad idea. Now, if he didn't, that's terrible. But anyway.
I feel like he did.
You don't think he did?
I don't
I
think
don't
he did
think,
at
I
all.
don't think he did.
But he strikes me as the type of guy who's like a control freak kind of, because I see him in like the videos with the praise and worship team and he's talking to them and this, that, and the third, and in my mind I'm like, why do you need to be there unless you're participating with the praise and worship team and leading worship? Why do you need to be there directing? You know what I mean? That's just me and because my dad is not. The praise and worship team are probably practicing right now. My dad's not there, so let's do that. You know what I mean? But
He probably is there, but he's probably, you know.
no, Dad's at home because I talked to him before I left.
Oh, I mean, he could be. You know, he could go there.
Well,
Because
yes.
sometimes he does be there. He's just not directing.
Right. So
That's because we have people who.
so that's my opinion of that. It was just unnecessary. Very, very unnecessary. And for those of you who don't know, Jesus took the man out of the town. He spit in the dirt, made mud or clay or whatever, then wiped it on the man's eye so he could see.
Plus, he was blind, so he didn't know that was happening.
Right.
Also, he was Jesus. I think is probably the most important detail.
But, and then I think Mike was like, yeah, they would have said the same thing to Jesus, or whatever the case was. But to me, that was
they probably would have.
Well, they crucified him.
Yes.
Yeah, they
It's
probably
not
would
like
have.
his
Yo,
PR
what do you-
department
yo,
was
you
doing
just-
crazy
that.
numbers. Like,
Yo,
But
get him
that
away
was-
from this man, sir.
that
So
was
you
a-
can't see, but he just spit in the dirt, and he's
that
about
was
to
a
wipe that
gross
on your face.
misinterpretation of the text,
well, I can see now. So.
and it was very, very
Wait,
nasty.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Mike Todd, like he recycles. So the book, the
His
relationship goals book, it's his whole YouTube series.
It's bars.
So
Basically,
you're saying that
So did you
The
buy the
book
book and read it, or did
is-
you hear
I
it?
bought the book and I
Oh.
read the first 2 chapters, and as I'm reading the chapters, I'm like, all of this is what you said in the YouTube series.
did you think he had that much more to say outside of the YouTube series? That like this is all
Absolutely, I did.
I
did.
see
So
how you were bamboozled.
So you felt
Yes.
finessed.
You were B. Simone.
I was
I was
finessed.
just about to say.
The Crazy
That's
Faith
old.
series to me was entirely too long, and I feel like the Crazy Faith book is probably just the same thing. The recycled messages put into a book. I've heard the things about him not being a faithful husband, which I don't know. I'm not there. I don't have an opinion.
We got to bring COINTELPRO back to find out stuff like that.
Yeah,
But COINTELPRO was terrible, so don't actually do that.
but yeah, like him, I think he's just a very like. Think about new believers who would have saw that spit thing. Like our age group already has like a dilemma with the church. Period.
That's the problem.
But
All the people they see is the people who shouldn't be seeing.
Well, how else are they going to see the people they supposed to see if the people they
They
supposed to
have
see?
to. That's the thing.
ain't
They have to go out
Yeah,
and find it.
exactly.
But
Right,
but because they see who they see, they're like, I'm not gonna go out and find these people because it's people who they got money in their walls. people who spitting on their head.
Joel
Joel
Joel?
Osteen. Yes,
Joel
I do.
Just having money on your walls is not illegal.
It's not, but it's
It's
mafia-esque.
It's-
So? Just want my head in Texas, man.
I'm just saying.
I'm the
think that
bigger
was
horse.
suspicious.
No, of course it's suspicious. But
And then it was a situation where it was like
Jesus flipped them tables over when they was doing business in the church like that, man.
it was
They
something
had
where
money
like
on
a year
walls.
prior
They
or
were
something that
that's his
that,
money.
that amount of money or something close to it went missing or something, right?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
From what? From where? From huh?
From the church.
From Joel Osteen's
From
church.
Osteen.
It was like a
and
year
Joel
or so
Osteen
earlier.
didn't even like that either. He's just a really good motivational speaker.
He is.
And he smiles really
His
well.
cadence is crazy though.
Like
Yeah,
he
nah.
don't.
Man, that
He the master of the boy.
it's not. Oh, he be having me ready to run through a wall. I be like, let's go in the name of Jesus.
So these are the people that people like us are seeing. Like I won't go as far as like Jamel Hill called Mike Todd a false prophet. I wouldn't go as far as to say that. But
Jamel Hill can't
She
have
just be
opinions on people
talking.
either.
yeah,
She is the
No,
worst
like,
tweeter in all of
girl.
history.
because
I've seen so many of her tweets
some of his
get
sermons do
Bro.
have sound biblical doctrine, and he
Mhm.
does make good points. But that to me was just over the top.
I'm gonna be real. All of the stuff that I've seen from Michael Todd, I remember the first thing I've ever seen from him was an illustration with ping pong balls, a vase, and water.
Yeah,
And
I remember that.
That, after he finished, like I watched the entire video, I was watching it the whole time, and when he finished, I was like, that made no sense to me. And I go to church. So like, from that point on, I was just like, he speaks really well. It seems like he has a really good delivery, but to me, it's just not resonant. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because.
Do you feel like this is a question for both of y'all? Because y'all are.
We're gonna
PKs.
intro in a minute, I promise you.
Yeah, we will. Do you feel like having parents that are pastors and spending a good chunk of your life hearing them be the primary people give you the word has narrowed like the way you can, I guess, like how you rock with it, yeah, how you accept it or receive it?
For sure.
Absolutely.
That's the reason why when I first went to MTSU, like we went to church. I remember that first Sunday I was up there during the Scholars Gathering. We went to church because one of our I forgot what he was. I forgot what his title was specifically, but one of the adults that was a part of the Scholars Academy was a pastor. So we went to his church, and the food was busting because you know how black people do. You know, they said they
That's
had
how they
kids
keep the
come
people.
through, so they definitely threw down for us. You feel me? But he was one of those pastors who like sing preach. You know what I'm saying? Like the pianist never got up after everybody else left. The worship service was great. They had a great singer. You know what I'm saying? Everything sounded great. You feel me? But every 2 seconds it's you know what I'm saying? On the organ, and he's just hitting notes because he could sing. So like he was like just singing, preaching, and it's like it wasn't a bad sermon by no means. Like what he said was really, really good. But it was because like I've heard my dad like literally my whole life, aside from Pastor Ben. So like most of I don't know. It definitely does like has influenced the way that I receive it. Even though I can like listen and understand what they're saying, it's just the way they're delivering it to me. It's just like this is kind of annoying me.
Over the
Because
years,
he's
I've
very
gotten
laid back.
judgmental.
I try not to judge.
I try not to either, but it's like, cause you know I live with my parents, so I see how they live their life, and then so when I see other people get up there and try to preach the gospel, it's like, well, what are you like when you're not in front of a camera?
Well, you're never gonna know that.
Exactly, but it's
Unless
like
you know them personally. or something.
exactly. So
Even still,
I try to.
I feel like if you're not probably within their home or spending gross amounts of time with them, you're still never gonna know that. It's like I'll just the church that I grew up in New York, New Life Cathedral, which is a great church led by Archbishop Rochford. He's phenomenal. But there are plenty of individuals, whether they're clergy or not, just with individuals who have a particular image amongst like the church, that church's community, and also just the Christian community in New York. And it's like if you actually like know them to a real degree, you know that they're not their image or their reputation. In both directions, there are people who are mud is thrown in their name and they're actually a phenomenal human being, and there are people who, you know, everybody swears
Seems
they're the
like-
chosen one, and they are demons in nice wigs. and so I think, like, unless you just like really have that first front row seat, like just knowing a pastor personally, 'cause, like, I'm sure there are plenty of people. Never mind. Actually, yeah, I'll go there. No matter where you stand on the lines of this man's innocence or guiltiness, or no longer livingness, or how you feel about speaking on people who are no longer living, I'm sure there are plenty of people who went to Eddie Long's church who like feel like he is a phenomenal man and they know him personally.
Yeah.
And that doesn't change
The fact that there are many
people who
Okay.
disagree strongly. So, you know what I mean? And so it's like,
Yes.
it's a difficult line to toe. I think
we saw him at a Hawks game one time. The craziest
So
thing about
random.
it was
that's not
the craziest thing about it was he was in a full suit as if he was about to preach a sermon.
Are you surprised?
I figured he would be in
I
kind of
wouldn't be
some like
surprised.
sports attire or something. This man was
Nah.
in a
Eddie
whole
Long looks like
purple
he wears a
suit.
suit everywhere.
With
he
shirt.
comes.
He sure does.
Well, he did.
And he has security and a Jerry curl.
He's always
Do you
there.
feel like church has the most hypocrites?
No, I
there's
think
hypocrites
life has the most
everywhere, yeah.
hypocrites.
There's
People
hypocrites.
just
But-
are gonna
In the
analyze
church,
the
it's,
church
you
a
know,
lot harder.
believers are supposed to live their life a certain way.
I'm gonna keep it a stack with
Yeah.
you. I understand you when you say the church, you just mean religion, like religious people at a whole, or you mean
Yeah.
Christian church? Because
Christianity in all of its denominations.
I promise you, there's just as much hypocriticism in every religion.
Every single
Yeah.
And
Even the
and
fake
as
Beyonce,
someone,
I
and
promise.
this
The
is in no
fake
disrespect,
Beyonce.
as someone
Beyonce
in
has
a
a church in Atlanta. You didn't know that?
who what?
Beyonce has a church in Atlanta.
Yeah, it's the Church of Beyonce.
I thought you meant like she owned
No,
a Christian
no.
church.
They
And
worship
I'm like, what?
Beyonce?
No, like
Yes.
they worship Beyonce, yes.
But
And
apparently she has no affiliation with it.
She
Cool.
does.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
a lie because she pops up there sometimes.
I've never seen that.
They
I need the imagery.
they don't talk about it
How
because
you know? She was there.
no, I wasn't there, but I watched a radio show about it, and it's like somebody was explaining the fact that they don't talk about it because then she'll stop showing up to them. She like does random pop-ins. She doesn't like tell people that she's gonna be there, but she
Well,
does.
Beyonce don't tell nobody nothing about nothing, so.
I mean, she probably tell Jay. She probably tell Blue stuff.
I wouldn't tell you things.
Y'all seen the tweet that was like
Blue
Blue
just-
dressed the
Yeah,
the
like
way.
whichever parents
Yeah,
do it.
whichever
That's a
parents
fact.
do it.
Where was they at?
Again.
That was the Rams game.
Oh.
Shout out that boy Matt Stafford.
His first playoff win.
Welcome back to We Hate ASMR, also known as the YSO Podcast.
Yeah.
You Speak Out Podcast, a podcast for the
Who was
youth,
that last time?
by the youth, being a voice of the youth by giving a voice to the youth. My name, to many, is different. On my birth certificate it says Emmanuel. In these streets they know me as Saint Even. On Instagram they know me as the villain. And soon they'll know me as something else too. But you can just call me God's favorite.
Sorry, I procrastinated again today. Who was that last time? Does anybody remember?
You know.
Well, I am going to be the king of the north. The real king.
Just the
Jon
title, or are you
Snow?
going to name a specific king?
I was Jon
There was
Snow
like-
before,
there
so
was
I'm
like
going to be
five
the king of the north.
Okay.
Well, I'll be Bran. I'll be Bran
Why
Stark.
would you want to
Ew.
be Brand?
Bran
I
Stark.
mean,
Here, please, bro.
No, actually, pause, rewind, play. I am the goat of all goats.
Kobe?
No.
Oh.
What's that girl name?
Because this is the character.
Who's this?
Arya?
Arya. I knew it started with A. Arya Stark.
Arya
I
Stark.
was about to say who's sister.
Arya.
Hey guys,
She
it's
lost me
Ashton.
when she was like, losing her virginity.
You said she lost you then?
Yeah, I was
Why?
like, I don't know. It just.
I feel like after
said
so long
Arya.
on the show, I feel like she was the one that requested it. I don't know. That's,
I see
like,
like
as
you
soon,
would feel like
as soon as
that.
I like
Right,
seen the
it's
way
Like
the
for
scene
character, just
happened,
like, come on, bro.
she was
like,
like, I feel like she went
That's
to the
a
writer. She was
mad,
like,
wild
yo,
accusation, yo, to lobby against someone.
I'm 21, like, even though I'm so-and-so.
Why was
show,
that
so-
episode so dark? Like, Like
I don't
it
know.
was literally dark.
Bruh, it was
don't
about-
know.
Yeah, he did an
Because-
awful job.
I'm sorry. Hi. Did you go?
No, Christian went for her, but I don't know if that counts.
Okay, hi everybody, it's Ashton.
Oh, okay, she said it different.
What's going on? It's your boy CK, but today I am Uzui, and that is a character from Demon Slayer. But because
This man be saying Japanese names.
yes, because I'm cultured.
Like anyone
okay.
knows that he's not just spewing syllables.
I mean, I guess. But because what was happening was dark. Everybody was about to die.
Yeah, but it was like
But,
impossible
like,
to see.
Yes, you literally
Exactly.
cannot
That's the point.
No, I don't think.
I think
I think
see.
they.
They
I think
can
we have to
portray
experience
darkness
the same
with us
fear
still being able to see
that they
what's
were
going
going
on.
through.
But we
Because they
didn't
couldn't
experience
see
fear.
them.
We experienced confusion.
I was-
And
I was
And
mad.
confusion was
Yeah,
a
I
part of it,
angry.
absolutely. But like, there's someone who dies during that episode, and I thought it was another character dying until that character popped up later in the episode. That's how dark it was. I was
That
like,
probably
oh,
was their intention.
no,
No,
I know it wasn't.
they messed up.
Are you sure?
I'm ready
It's
for
just
the
white women looking too much alike and not good lighting to make them distinct.
Nah, really.
I have
I ain't
no
gonna lie,
idea.
bro. If I ever had to fight war at night, because isn't that like one of those like just known rules of war? Like you don't engage at night.
I don't think that's real. I think someone made that up one day.
Probably did it.
That just you think at sunset they just stop shooting at each other and then walk away?
Nah. I
Exactly.
mean, you know, there's rules of engagement. Like there's war crimes, so
Yeah, but war crimes are decided by like the UN.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
They're
I'm
not,
pretty.
but they are.
They are, and I'm pretty sure fighting at night's just like not one of them because it's just impossible to relegate.
Well, I mean, it wasn't always a UN in history. I'm talking about way before.
Well, before the UN, there wasn't
When
doing
they
war
fought with
crimes. Like,
swords.
people were doing war crimes, but they weren't going to.
Are
like-
you a sneaker plug if you can't get the shoes that I need?
What?
I sent her a picture of some sneakers like, yo, can you get these? No, sorry. What? What kind of plug are you?
How rare are they?
They're the Yeezys.
And he said,
Wh-
you
what
said they're like
Yeezys?
the Nike ones. Those,
Right?
right?
She can't get those.
The tan? The Zen Gray. Oh my god. First of all,
If
I
there's
feel-
thousands of a shoe out and you're a sneaker plug and you can't get it, and there's thousands of them in existence, you're probably not a good sneaker plug. No disrespect to her. Now, if it was like one of them, we made 250. You know,
Well, yeah,
maybe
I'm
all
not-
250 people don't want them.
Yeah, I
We wanna
wasn't
get 'em up
asking
right
for
now.
like no exclusive. Was a general release.
you know those folks out here rocking replica Jordans?
Yes. Actually, more importantly, there's people who can afford the money for real shoes rocking replicas. Like, there's a huge community of people who, like, it's not about the money, it's about the fact that there's this, like, well, everyone knows about it, the problem with, like, how sneakers are so inaccessible right now.
Yeah.
And they just, like,
The
their,
market's
their, whole,
crazy.
their whole point is just, like, sneakers are meant to be worn
Yeah.
and experienced and owned.
But those
Not
replicas are
sit
so
inside
good.
storage rooms and not be mass ordered by a kid who has
folks
30,000
talking about
bots
some- on the rock
because
on
his
the top.
CPU has 900 RAM, and I'm just saying hot terms. I don't know if any of that made sense, but the point I'm making is like, so they're just like, we're gonna buy replicas.
Like they're so good that like if I have them on, just looking at them, you wouldn't be able to tell they were fake. You would have to have a black light and know where certain stitching goes, or look at the box.
So it ain't as easy as it used to be.
It's really not. That like those replicas are basically like they're called B grades. So
Catch
the,
'em.
if you take the real Jordans, they would be A plus, of course, and then if you take a replica and put them side by side, like they have to point out specific differences on the shoe, or else you wouldn't know.
Makes sense.
It's crazy.
I used
Diamonds
to
and moist
remember.
I'm definitely gonna be getting moist in this.
I used to remember the experience of
What?
being in
Are we
high
doing that to
school.
be cheap? Or are we
Yes.
doing-
Very much so.
What's
I
the-
mean, it
oh, the
depends on
diamond
what-
thing.
Yeah,
it
what's
depends
nice are
on what
really
it
nice
is.
though.
Yeah, because like they
Would
first
you
of all they
know
shine
diamonds?
the same,
What?
if not more.
Would I date a guy with my well, yeah. But remember, we talked about this on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Moissanite?
I want
Yeah.
moissanite rings.
Yeah, we talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about.
I'm not talking
Like
about
chains and
engagement
stuff.
ring. I'm talking about chains and
Yeah.
busting down watches and stuff. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy
I
a
feel like
diamond
I'm past the
engagement
age
Oh,
to
okay,
bust
gotcha.
down anything. Just give me the plain,
ring. What are you talking about?
plain Jane.
Wait,
AP.
what?
What do you
I don't think
mean?
there's an age limit.
There
for
is
that.
no age limit. Benny the Butcher has a bust down AP. What are you talking about?
He's like 40.
Exactly.
But he's a rapper.
And you know how many old dudes
Okay.
that
That's
have
the
money
rapper
just
look.
I guess
got
he's
bust
still
down.
rap. But
Yeah,
there are.
yeah, but
I'm
Like,
sure, like,
what do I look like walking into my job with a bust down AP?
you're only
Like somebody
27.
rich.
I don't.
like
28.
somebody who got bread and should
Yeah.
be working here.
I don't think you
That's
can
what I
say
would
that
say.
and you're not at least 40. Like, if you're not 40 yet, you can have.
I
a
can
bust
still
down
do that?
watch. Yeah,
Bruh.
Okay, never mind.
You know how old Favi is?
No.
Granted, again, that's
he's in his 30s.
He's 30?
Yes.
He's
It's like
early
early 30s.
I thought he was one of them
Alexis
young
29.
Johns.
No, he's
young
very
boys.
old.
How old is Bobby?
Bobby's young. Bobby's probably like
I like Bobby.
somewhere in
Bobby's
between
yeah,
y'all.
he's like 26, 28.
When is he dropping music? Has he
Well,
dropped?
he's been dropping music. The promotion for his music has been absolutely terrible. But he does have one song that's like really listenable with the Migos. Well, not all of the Migos.
Just Quavo, right?
Yeah, it's Quavo and one other person's on it.
That song that Migos have with Jim Jones?
We Set the Trends.
I like
Yeah,
it.
that's a good song.
It's a great song.
I like
I
it.
played it at a party and somebody was asking me, I was like, what? You name of the song, bro?
You felt good, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Every
Yeah.
time. We at the train.
What is up with our generation's pride about asking for songs? Like song titles?
Mm-hmm.
Why does that exist?
It's like the Youngboy song that I sent to you. I was like, yo, what is this? And why does he want smoke with all of O Block?
Well, it's not that he wants smoke. He just, acknowledged smoke, I guess. I don't know.
I think he wants smoke.
He probably does for no reason.
Well, yeah.
What's the beef, though? I'm not
Vaughn.
Vaughn.
Vaughn had beef?
No.
That's why Vaughn and Rondo had beef because of Youngboy.
Rondo was signed to YB.
But I seen videos of Vaughn and Rondo. Like,
Yeah, because they were homies, and then text messages or DMs or something, and pictures of Vaughn and Jania came out. So then YB started having beef with Vaughn because he, like all
He still
men
loves
in a
Jania.
harem,
Jania.
feels like he owns every woman he's been with. But I don't know. Yeah, he had a problem with
Tell
that.
me that
And then they started having beef, so that led
God
to
rest
Quando
the dead.
and
King Vaughn,
had beef.
the
and
silent
that's why they
assassin,
fought each
died
other.
because of a woman. No offense
You
against
just call
women.
him the silent assassin?
I don't take
He
offense
has
to that.
bodies.
But are they silent?
I was about to
They
say, why you
silent?
calling
They're
him
pretty
silent?
loud.
Well,
This man said in a song, yeah, I got bodies, and then counted out how many he has.
what song is that?
Demon.
That's such a funny thing. Like
I didn't know that. I
And
didn't know it was
I-
all
oh,
that.
nah.
when you just
Um,
isolate it like that.
Never mind.
Nah, that wasn't that. That was Wayne Story.
A lot of people claim to do things in their music.
You think when or not when if
He said 4 plus 3, 3 plus 2. So I don't know if it's 9.
that's a lot of bodies, bro.
I don't know if it's 9 or because he said 4 plus 3,
That's
7, 3 plus 2. So I don't know
That's
if it's
5.
I don't know if it's
or
9
12.
or if it's 4 plus 3 and 3 plus 2 because that's 5 and that's
which would
7.
be
So I don't
12.
know if it's 12 or 9. Either way, that's too much,
He's considered a serial killer at this point.
bruh. You're considered a serial killer at 3.
But also, serial killing like has other
More entailed to it.
qualifications
Yeah.
than just the
like the
number.
same type of killing.
Yeah.
that-
MO, all that type of stuff. What is the lineage? What is the the credentials of your victims? What do they all have in common? That's how they try to find people. Like, what do they all have in common? All right, set a perimeter because they all was jogging in this
Criminal Minds.
5 mile radius.
Such a great show.
I seen somebody say a tweet. I can't like quote the tweet, but it just used the word unsub in it, but like for someone who's not an actual unsub, and it just was so funny. Wish I could
What
find
does that
it,
stand for?
It stands for
but unsubordinate. I don't know.
I would think so, because that's how they refer to.
That are just.
I just thought it was just a term. I just
Yeah,
thought it
it's
meant.
an acronym. I think it's
Oh,
just
yeah,
a
That's
term.
bothering me. Can you get that?
What is it?
A thread.
Please don't pull it too hard.
I know this. I was looking at it, but I don't know most of it.
What was we talking about?
Did
oh,
y'all-
yeah, R.I.P. Vaughn. But,
Did y'all see the story post? Well, the tweet rather. After Bring the Hook.
Yes.
After Bring the Hook came out, and then Dirk posted the picture. He posted, and someone had posted a tweet. It was like, "No, if you have any kind of beef with NBA YoungBoy, you have
A friend that Fredo Bang. But the funny part,
Bang posted Dirk's posted this stuff.
but the crazy part about it is Fredo is signed to Dirk. So and a lot of people
Exactly.
don't know that.
But it don't matter
It's
because
hilarious
who
'cause
cares? It's so true.
Why is
so true.
Bang and Youngboy, oh, they have real beef, like street
Yeah,
beef.
just because
G Money, like the dude who Fredo Bang's always talking about, his cut project, In the Name of G, all that.
yeah,
His main beef was with Youngboy, and he's dead because of his beef with Youngboy. Youngboy actually used to be with him because it's called Top Gorilla Crew, Top Gorilla Gang, Top something, and it was like this crew in Baton Rouge, and Youngboy was a part of it. And he was like G's like little homie, really, and then they had a falling out about a lot of things. One of those things being G smashing Youngboy's sister. That is not like a rumor. Youngboy said it in a song. G said it in a song. There's phone conversations about it. Like, it's very real. And
Little or older?
I think it's Youngboy's younger sister, but I think she's legal. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know.
that's crazy, 'cause
But they also
he's
have
a lot younger than us.
Well, then maybe she's older.
YB was in high school.
Yeah, you're right. He is younger than us, so maybe she gotta be older. Well, I don't know. Hey, in Baton Rouge, she could be any age. Anyways, they had other falling out about other stuff too, but that was just a big thing of it. And so then that's when Youngboy started NBA, and then he had got his homies or whatever. They started, beefing on wax, but then they're also beefing in the streets. Beef reached a certain level, and then some NBA people decided to go for a ride, and at the end of that ride, G Money was no longer alive, of which those people are now in prison for the murder of G Money. So it's not even like I'm out here like snitching on people I don't know. It's just really what happened, and now they have real beef. And Fredo Bang was like G Money's little homie for real, so just beef forever in his eyes with Youngboy and anyone who's NBA or 4K track.
Yeah. Wow. And it sucks. I like Fredo Bang. I really do.
Why you say it sucked though?
Just cause like, I don't know, bro. Because I feel like at some point I'm gonna be around these people, so I have to remember stuff like that.
Just mind business.
Huh? I mean, yeah, I'm a mom business, but you know what I'm saying.
Do you think
Yeah,
if
sometimes those
Hov
be
and Meek
tripping.
Mill get that law passed that you can't go to jail for lyrics, it'll be more like admissions to murders on wax?
I feel like they'll still try to find a way to get people locked up because it's very hard for me personally. It's very hard for me to. First of all, I had a problem with the verbiage because Daily Loud said Meek Mill and Jay-Z are trying to pass a law. It's like these two Negroes can't pass anything. Get the law passed. And it was like, I don't know why that like kind of upset me, but I was just like, that's not, sometimes semantics
possible.
are like, sometimes semantics are important. But like, I feel like me personally, I feel like people should only tell the truth on wax. That's what makes music the best it is. So, but I do also feel like there are things that you should not say on wax because it could be used against you.
Come on, bro.
On song, basically.
You gotta pick a side. You either want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you.
I want it,
or
but I don't want it all. You feel me?
That's not
the whole truth.
You understand?
Like I don't want Julio truth.
Listen.
I do.
I understand you saying that, but man, I'm about to really tap in right now.
Is this recordable?
That same sentence, right?
Well, we are recording.
That same sentence has to be like, that's the philosophy. I want the truth, but there's certain truths you can't give. But you can't tell your girl that. Right?
This not that though.
But listen, the philosophy stands in all scenarios.
That's not fair.
So
Life ain't
if
Because
you
that's
want
a
partial
special
truths,
situation.
if you are okay
I'm not about
with
to go to jail with
truth,
my girl.
truth by omission,
I'm
So
like
you
she's
snitching.
holding on me.
98% of the people in jail because of their girl. Constitutionally, you can't imagine. You gotta figure out where you stand on the side of the picket lines. You either want truth
I
or
don't
you
know,
don't.
bro. I feel like I'm not gonna lie. There's demons that need to be taken off the street. So if we being real, you know what I'm saying? People like Julio, that man should be in jail somewhere. If he had anything to do with half of the murders he talks about.
And that's another thing. He's not claiming all those bodies. Those are just all
Correct.
his
Yeah,
ops
those are
who have died.
exactly, which is understandable.
Why does he have so many eyes?
Because
It's
he lives in
Jacksonville.
Florida. That's why. Like
It's him and who else? What's the other guy?
Young
That he has
Yeez.
beef with. He has beef with Young Nice.
That's the guy that was on that was just on Gunna album.
No, that's Young Blue.
Oh,
Yeah, he's from a
Rick Ross album.
Yeah, he was on Rick Ross.
I didn't listen to Ross's album.
You didn't really miss anything, but
That's what I was hearing.
it was alright.
It was cool.
I've heard Wiggle.
Dream went in.
Yeah, no, her verse is crazy.
Yeah.
She's actually a really good rapper.
I like
She is
her.
dreamed on.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
She's not a thing.
Yeah, that's Tabitha.
She's from New York, right?
Yeah.
Bronx.
What?
Boogie down. Yeah, I rock
You
with
could
that.
just take the compliment.
Thank you.
Gotta wiggle. She should have said jiggle more.
Who
Because
are
I like the way she
Who are
said
some artists y'all need an album from this year?
21.
Kendrick Lamar.
What? Need?
Yes.
Just trying to be realistic with our needs.
Right,
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to think. Like, who could I really?
21 was fine. He talking about Kendrick. Like, could it happen? Sure, but then because we need it,
It's never.
we just gotta.
One of my coworkers asked me, he was like, "You think Kendrick's just gonna go back into hiding for another 4 years after these 2 verses?" Like, yeah, y'all gonna be good. I was like, it's
Probably.
very much possible.
Yeah.
Not after
I
2
hope-
verses.
I hope he don't.
Not after
Like,
2
he's
verses and
very
let's get
much-
this. Come on, bro. Come on. You can't leave Earth like you did on Family Ties, then just say
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
that fed the drought. What?
Bruh.
No. it's
No,
I
don't
can
know.
tell you who I don't need an album from.
Who?
Lil Durk.
Really? I actually want Dirk
I
album
mean,
this year.
I'd be cool.
I just feel
I'd be
like
cool
he
with.
just he dropped 3, didn't he?
Well, he dropped The Voice at the end of 2020, The Voice Deluxe in 2021, and The Voice of the Heroes.
Yeah.
But I don't count collab projects as a part of your discography. I count
Right.
it as like a
There's
united
a
front.
collab out
Yeah.
there.
So
Never mind.
I don't know.
I'm looking
Maybe.
through my.
there are people I want,
Artists.
and then there are people who I need. I made a list of the people whose album.
Okay, I can do who I want. Who I want. I want a TJ album. I want maybe a JI album. I kind of want a
JID.
Yes,
No.
also.
Oh, well, but you were saying J.I.
Yeah, I was talking about JI. Yeah.
Is Cardi B gonna ever come out of hiding? She won her Grammy and just was like, all right, deuces.
What I think is funny is that she won her Grammy and has dropped a hit per year, each year since, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like she's just like, I will give you
Invasion
guys
of Privacy was 2018.
one hit,
Really?
then
Yes.
leave.
Wow. That's crazy.
Let me see.
That
Jay-Z.
was-
Who do I need?
I feel like my list is 10 deep.
Oh,
Can't lie.
DJ Khaled don't want an album from him either.
I can't lie.
Keep it.
After
I love Khaled
Right.
albums. Well, don't love. I didn't love this last one, but I love like even the spirit of Khaled albums, like
yeah, I feel
just what he does, and I don't think there's anybody really doing what he does at that level. Like
Ella May, where she went?
Megan Thee Stallion.
She probably still
yo,
making music that's just not popping.
No,
Ella May
she's not.
was
Ella May hasn't
2018.
dropped since 2018,
Okay.
and like she's maybe like she's done a good amount of features, but I don't
Come
think
back
she dropped-
outside, boo. I miss you.
I don't think she dropped a single since then.
I ain't gonna lie, I got a few
Frank
needs
Ocean.
real quick. I got a few needs.
Frank
So,
Ocean gone.
realistically, I need a No Cap album. I need a Ride Wave album. Let me go back up because it was somebody else. Who else was it?
You think it's realistic to get a Broadway album this year?
I don't know with him talking about suicide and retiring. So we're gonna figure out. Hopefully,
I was just saying because he dropped an album last year.
I mean
Maybe
it's
he's
possible.
on
I feel like in the
break.
latter part of the year, maybe.
Okay.
I need a Favi album. I just saw one more person. Oh, yeah, no, I think that's it.
My list is 10 deep. It goes Westside Boogie.
Okay.
Boogie, play with me, bro. Now I know you said you come in first quarter. I don't believe you, but I think you're coming spring. Genuinely. If December come and go, and I don't have the new album,
If we in 2023, bro.
Westside Boogie, Sci-Hi to Prince,
Yeah.
I need
I like that.
a new album from Ab-Soul. I need
Okay.
a new
What
album.
was Soul's last album, bro?
Do What Thou Wilt, which I think was 2018 or 19.
That's
Ridiculous, so small.
I need a new Boss album. I've been spinning Too High to Ride in Milky Way for long enough. I need a new Boss album. I need a new Joey Bad behind album.
That
And
man
I think
might
we're
not
gonna
never
get
rap
it.
again. 'Cause
He just dropped a single.
Oh.
Yeah, he just dropped. And
Why you say that?
Well, he said he got $2 million from 50.
yeah, his acting career is doing very well. It is.
What he acted in?
He's in Raising Kanan,
Oh.
and he was in the Wu-Tang show before that. But then Stars put him on an exclusive deal for Raising Kanan, so now he in Raising Kanan. And he was in that Two Distant Strangers movie that won an Oscar. His acting career is actually doing very well.
You talking about the movie he got killed every day?
Yeah, over and over and over again. Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, he just dropped the
Yeah.
single, The Revenge, and I rocks with it, so it gives me hope and belief he's coming. I need a Pusha T album. The drought's too real. I need it. I need a J.I. album, like you said. The small projects have been great, but I need a full length.
Who is this J.I. person?
He was on the Rap Game.
Yeah.
He goes by J.I. or the Prince of New York. I need a JID album. I believe we're getting a Forever Story this year. We just got Surround Sound.
How can I forget?
That single's crazy.
I need a Lil Baby album.
I need a Stormzy album.
Another one?
Bro, my turn was almost a year and a half ago.
2020.
Yeah, it was 2020. My turn was good enough.
Almost a year and a half.
My turn was good enough for him to buy a few years from me. So like it was good enough to buy 2 years. So
I feel like
I'm cool.
now that Gunna has dropped, and I've heard 25K Jacket,
Oh my gosh.
I need another
That
baby.
song has like
and also I
has
have
me in a chokehold.
I have no doubts
I work
that
out
Baby's
to it.
album is going to like live up to what I want from it, and because I have no doubts, he can take his time.
I feel
I need a Stormzy album.
I want it, right?
Heavy as the Head dropped like
Take this off.
2019. I need a new Stormzy album.
She's hashtag
And
shit. Like,
I need a new Favi album. Well, I need a Favi album because he hasn't dropped an album. Favi said his album's coming this year. I need it. He just posted him and the Kid Leroy in the studio together earlier
Nah, that's
today.
cool. That's crazy.
Gunna or Lil Baby? Can we settle this debate?
It's always gonna
Don't
come
make
down
me
to
choose,
preference.
bro.
I can easily choose, but it's gonna come down to your
Who
preference.
do you choose?
I choose Lil Baby, but it's because I just
Same. Who do
prefer
you choose?
Lil Baby's kind of music.
Me personally, I choose Gunna, and it's the same reason why I choose Quavo over Offset.
Why?
Because Quavo is the more melodic one, and Offset is the more rapping one.
Based,
That's the same reason. But to me personally, I
How
love
could you
Baby,
hear-
and I love what he
How
does.
could you hear Offset's voice? I mean, Offset's verse on Straightening and what's that other song?
there's lots of songs.
What's that song? It's on the
Is it him or is it him? It's like I know why I like him, but I know why I love him too. You know what I'm saying? Like for me,
well, you use Like the Love.
yes, I did, but at the same time, like they're on the same level. But
Yeah.
That's
I'll
just-
say one thing about Gunna and Lil Baby. I need a new Gunna Lil Baby collab project now that they are both 10 times better than they were when they dropped theirs.
that would be crazy.
I really have no idea. I feel like I would choose Gunna because I naturally listen to him more.
Really?
But I still love Lil Baby. It's like apples and oranges. Like
Good choice.
they're different.
You're right.
I chose
Like-
Baby.
You know, one.
I've never
citrus, the
understood.
other one
I've
is
never understood the apples to
a regular
oranges.
fruit.
Yeah,
I
it's
never
like
did.
they're real close,
Yeah.
but not the same.
Like I understand the point of that analogy, but I never understood why. I just don't see it when it comes to apples and oranges. I would understand it a lot better if it was like comparing kiwis to bananas. That makes sense to me. Like
Yeah,
that's
why?
two fruit that are
But I
directly
think it doesn't-
opposite.
I
Apples
think
and
it goes
oranges,
off the
I don't
terms
view
the
as
same.
opposites. Like if there's a fruit spectrum, apples and oranges are not far from each other on it. I would see kiwi and banana on opposite
I
ends
think
of the
that's why
spectrum.
they
When it comes
say
to flavor
apples to
profile, physical appearance, and texture, when it comes to health benefits,
one
like they
feel
are
really,
on
one is
apples and
terrible.
oranges are like cousins, and you can compare
Lil
cousins,
Baby and Gunna
They're like
are like
second
cousins.
cousins.
and you can compare cousins.
Right.
So I don't believe that apples to oranges
Yeah.
is a good
So
example
would you choose
of the
Kendrick
point of that
because he's more
analogy.
melodic?
Then who?
Kendrick over who?
The only other person we can compare him to?
No, they're very equally melodic to me.
Who?
It's just in different stages of their career.
Who
I,
do you
I, I
compare him
missed.
to?
I missed this.
Cole?
Oh, okay.
I missed the
Cole isn't
sentence.
melodic.
He is.
I'm just saying, in in the latter part of his career, all Cole has done is
Same, yeah.
took an influence from the people. Not that he hated, but clowned on wax, which is hilarious. But it's not like
Well,
in a
what
bad
is
way.
this term?
On wax just means on the
On-
song.
I
It's-
don't, I've
it's
never
a
heard
ref-
this before.
so
It's
why
a
do you
reference
think
to
y'all talking about-
vinyl.
Yeah, you know
Okay,
how vinyl
thank
is
you.
wax, and they used to back then, and that's all they
Everything had to be recorded
So
on vinyl.
everything
Okay.
they'd be like saying on wax,
This
like, on
on
wax,
wax.
on wax.
On wax.
Yeah, so
'Cause I know you would
I've
choose
never
Kendrick
heard that
over
before in
Cole.
my life.
Am I showing my age right now?
No.
No, I think if anything, we're just showing like being historians of music.
What is
Okay,
that?
rather than age.
This in multiple songs, people say that.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
common saying.
Very,
I've
yeah, it's a
not
very
heard
common
that
reference
before.
because of,
In my
you know,
life.
it used to be on.
The Kendrick and Cole, people try to make me choose all the time. Awesome. And majority of the time, I always say the same thing, and it's that I literally cannot live without either one of them.
Facts.
And I quite literally, like, when they're both said and done, and I'm said and done, they'll probably be my 1 and 2 when it comes to favorite rappers of all time. But with that being said, and I think they've both done equally for my life personally. Like I credit both of them as artists who have helped change and save my life. With that being said, I think on an objective scale, I think Kendrick makes better objective music. Slightly. But I think Kendrick makes the best objective music in music for his generation, regardless of genre.
And 100%.
So when people hear me say that, they're like, "Oh, you a full stand, you all the way up the butt, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Okay, believe what you. I don't care." But I think if you take, and I also, this is a very good question because when people bring up the GOAT debate, I always ask, and regardless of anything, I always ask them, "What do you mean by GOAT?"
Yeah.
Because for me, when it comes to music, one of the biggest things that I'm judging you based off of is the power of your discography. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why, like, as much as Drake is a GOAT, he can never be my GOAT or the GOAT to me.
Yeah.
Because whereas Drake is a phenomenal artist, you want to talk hits, you want to talk impact, legacy, being the biggest rapper on the planet.
That many classic albums.
You can only make an argument for 2 albums of his being classics, and you can make an argument against both of them as classics. I think he has one certifiable classic in Take Care. I think he has a classic mixtape in So Far Gone. So if you want to say he has 2 classic projects solidified, cool, then you can argue Nothing Was the Same. I don't think Nothing Was the Same as a classic, but you can argue that is. So at argument, he has 3 classic total projects. Kendrick's first 3, Section 80, Good Kid to Pimp a Butterfly, classics. Damn won a Pulitzer Prize. So it gotta be a classic. Like, and then you could really make an argument that Untitled Unmastered for a side project is a 10 out of 10. You can argue it.
What did the Asian say?
Like, it's hard to, and not to compare them, but that's another reason why I'm like, when people bring up the GOAT debate, like, you can have your GOAT, whatever. I think in hip hop, there's an objective number 1 correct answer of the GOAT. It's Hov. Because when I'm looking at discography, no one else's discography can stand up.
That's why I hate.
You want to talk technical skill, hits, and all of that. You can talk all of that, but the discography, I think, speaks. Like I look at it like a director, if you will. Like you can talk about a director, you can talk about Hitchcock's impact or Tarantino's script, and you can talk about all of that. But let's also just look at the bodies of work, look at your filmography, look at your discography. What did you do? And when I'm judging the bodies of work you left the world with, that's what I feel like is the greatest statement about your artistry. And that's why I would probably edge it to Kendrick in the Kendrick Cole conversation, as I would edge it to Kendrick against everybody in his generation. I think Kendrick's discography is already in the God tier of musicians and rappers. I can only think of maybe a handful of rappers you can argue have a better discography, and it's because they all have more albums than him at that kind of caliber or level. And all of them have at least a miss. Well, not maybe the album is a miss, but like a greater miss than any of his misses. Because like Kingdom Come is cool at best, in my opinion.
People be saying
Maybe
this.
with that.
People put Kingdom Come in Jay-Z's top 5 album.
Who? Who people? What people?
It's a couple.
Where people?
In the group chat that I'm in, that put Kingdom Come up there.
They're putting it over Blueprint, Reasonable Doubt, Black Album. You know, I just found. Well,
AG too.
Full 44.
That's crazy.
Blueprint
You know,
3.
bro. See, this is
Relaxing
how.
Volume 2.
This is how I realized. You're alright. This is how I realized that even though it's only 3 years, like that is a long time. Because I used to seasonally. I work at this job called Phantom Fireworks. It's a fireworks store, and some of the young men there that are truly my little bros, they are very confused when it comes to us talking about music and who's where and what's going on. It was the day that we were talking about, it was the day that they was disrespecting Jay-Z on Twitter, talking about versuses and stuff. And so,
That's the plural of verses? Say that one more time.
Versuses. Versuses. So, Versailles.
Not the treaty. Not the treaty. Not the treaty.
So,
the war is over.
That's funny. The war is over.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
So at first the conversation was Future could beat Jay-Z.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Y'all, I'm like, all
Who
right,
said that?
I love Future, but y'all, the only person that
Oh,
Future
my.
could even go up against that would make sense is Thug. So stop all of that right now.
That's a super clash. Right there.
And it went from that to Drake. And one of my homies, shout out my boy Trey, he was very adamant how Drake would watch Jay-Z.
What is
And I
Drake
was
gonna
like,
play when Hov plays? You don't know.
What is he gonna play when he plays Heart of the City?
God's playing.
Like that.
Just hold on, we're going home.
All of
I'm being serious too. Like I think I'm playing. I'm not like.
That's why I'm laughing, because it's like,
They're gonna play
Miss
Kendrick
Me?
Interlude and try
come on,
to
man.
sneak one in there. I was a co-director on this one. I was in the studio when he
Shot
he
for
wrote.
me, YOLO.
Nah,
Like, and I like
Motto,
bar
motto.
Drake, and Drake don't have enough bar hits.
He has enough bar songs, but not enough bar
Yeah.
hits.
Hits.
But if I think Jay-Z and Drake, if they were to do a versus, first I think Drake is the best possible matchup other than Ye, but I don't think Ye would
Ye
ever
said
do
he
it.
wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because Hov is the boss.
I think Drake is the best possible matchup in just the regard of being able to like make it a fight.
I feel like
But-
Wayne will be there too.
Yes, but I think there are just gonna be
Wayne got
certain.
too many mixtapes.
I think Wayne would choose wrong
Yeah.
Yes. he
because
would.
Wayne's catalog is so big
Yeah.
He
that
don't forget all
I'm
his
pretty
best
sure
songs.
he's not able to assess a top
He
20,
don't remember.
right? And you could go up to somebody and say, "What's the top 20 Wayne songs?" And in a room full of people who are all Wayne fans, get literally 20 different sets of 20.
Yeah.
And because he has no gauge of assessing that for himself, I just think he would choose wrong.
Very much.
With that being
The
said,
sky's the limit is nowhere in it.
with that being said, I think Hove and Drake would have to like decide what 20 in the regard of like what are we going for here? We just
Yeah.
going best of hits.
We going to Central.
You know what I mean?
Albums
Are we going?
or
I'm
eras.
playing Empire State of Mind and
They should
DOA,
choose a
and you're
decade for
playing.
Hov.
You know what I mean? God's playing and with the cell hotline bling. Like, are we talking that? Are we talking? We're gonna come with bars, and I'm playing 22 twos and the Evils and Dead Presidents, and you're playing 5 a.m. and all of the times and locations and the remorse and you know what I mean? Are we talking? We going B-sides because they both have such a depthful, deep.
Plethora.
I should have just said deep. They both have such a deep bag when it comes to not only how many great records they have, but how different those records are.
Yeah.
Like they could, I mean, I don't think Jay-Z would want to do this, but they could even do a top 20 of for the ladies joints. Now Drake is gonna wash in that category because
Yeah.
whereas Jay has some great ones, it's Drake. But
Yeah.
they could do it in so many different ways. If they just both decided to just show up with 20, the winner's gonna come down to preference.
Very much so.
Like, if Hove plays Empire State of Mind and then he plays God's Plan, you're just gonna have people arguing back and forth about preference. No,
Yeah.
because when he plays DOA and so then he hits that up with Miss Me, people are just gonna be arguing about preference. Yes, you can like try and find it, but it's.
Hov
The-
wins those two, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also, there's going to be the person who says Drake wins them, and when they're making the argument for Drake, they're probably going to say great points that it's going to be one of those things where you can't argue his points, you can only make your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those type of arguments just end up with two people who express points
Running in
and they
circles.
ran in circles, nothing happens. And I think the best part of verses, other than watching legends appreciate each other, is how the culture can, outside of appreciating them, make the commentary on the moment.
Right.
And I think that commentary...
That'd be the funny part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that commentary, like, it would eventually go nowhere.
So what's your favorite verses so far?
Brandy and Monica.
Brandy and Monica was crazy. I loved it.
Yes.
Told y'all that she was going to pack that girl up.
Of course,
I don't care how thuggish
lots of
Monica
Dipset.
is. We love you, Monica. Legend. But come on.
Lots of
That's
Dipset
vocal
is my
Bible.
favorite.
I think Jadakiss's like presence and performance of Locked on Dipset is my favorite performance, but I don't think it's my favorite versus. Plus, Madison Square Garden booed Cameron. Like
Well,
Makes no sense.
everybody in
I
there
mean,
is
they
not
be
from New
booing
York no more.
mad
Like,
people,
yeah,
like,
but
what's
it's
your problem?
Cam. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I almost went up there and took people cards. Like he was at the verses. Like,
Can't go like Killer King.
yesterday's price.
I loved X and Snoop. I loved that
Yeah.
one.
Dang, man, RPA. Why did they put Ross against 2 Chainz?
I don't know.
That's not
Ross-
a bad match.
Ross smacked that man, bro.
But, yeah.
No disrespect to Chainz, but Ross
Yeah.
did him dirty.
I see the idea.
Ross did him dirty and was
I
like,
see
I
the
can go
idea.
against someone else with a whole nother 20. I won't reuse a single song. And he can,
And he
which is
could.
kind of
Yeah,
wild.
He could.
This also makes
That's
you
just like
realize
Jadakiss.
how many people have hits. I will say, I thought Jadakiss low-key cheated a bit. Not in the Lots one, but in his solo, again, who was he against? Again, Fab. I felt like he cheated because I know if I'm Fab, I'm coming expecting Jadakiss only solo. He playing D-Block records, Lots records, Jada records, Jada. I'm like, Jesus, calm down. I had breathed 19 times on the playlist. Why are you doing like you be an extra? I felt like he OD'd. He could have chose like one era. He was like on
Did he play
19
Y?
different
He
labels.
didn't play Y, did he?
Who, Fab?
No. Kiss.
You said wide?
Y.
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember. he was
Why
hopping from
artists
decade
always
to
a dick?
decade.
Bro, there was like a good portion of my life where like I just found a lot of old music and was listening to it. Like I remember
That was
in
me,
ninth
mostly.
grade, that was when I like, cause I had new songs from the Black Album, but I never listened to the whole album. So
Great
then
album, isn't it?
it's an amazing album.
It's beautiful.
Like,
Lord.
I think all I knew was like Lucifer and 99 Problems. So a Moment of
What
Clarity.
more can I say?
It was so much, like it was just so much that I was just like, yes, this is amazing.
You know,
Where's
Barack,
Ray Sherman been?
you know Barack
Chilling.
Obama's favorite Jay-Z song is My First Song.
What?
Barack Obama's favorite Jay-Z song ever is My First Song.
I remember, you know how like yearly he tweets out his favorite songs from the year.
He don't make that list.
Somebody quoted it and was like, they be struggling in the office trying to pick songs from like every aspect
Bruh,
of like
I'll be like,
of like
bro,
factions and whatnot.
as someone whose taste is so varied, so eccentric, and so colorful, personally, Barack, you're not listening to that much different music. Stop lying.
At all.
He said he had Yo-Yo Ma on the list one year, like under Benny the Butcher. Like, shut up! No,
Yeah,
stop
this
it,
last year.
bro.
I
Like
was
maybe you heard Yo-Yo Ma, but he's not getting spins from the Obama Apple music.
Right.
Stop it.
I seen Gunna on his on the playlist one time, and I was like, at best, I feel like Sasha was like, "Hey, Dad, listen to this," and he heard it. He was like, "What's the name of the song?"
I feel like
Jim,
that's-
write that down.
Not Jim. Who's Jim?
I don't know, some random white guy in the cabinet. Yes, Mr. President.
I'd actually really like to like.
Did y'all see what Joe Biden said
He said a lot of things.
You mean
what?
when?
the other day?
That still
What did he
doesn't.
say?
He had a whole
About,
address. He said
It
a
was
lot.
on MLK Day when he said that George Floyd's death might be more.
I did see that.
Well, no. What he
What
said.
did he say?
What he said exactly was even MLK's assassination did not have the global impact that George Floyd's did.
Oh, well, it's a different time, bro. Social media. We
I
watch.
mean, folks probably knew about MLK dying though. I don't know.
They did. I just think.
Newspapers
Why are we
was
making
important.
comparisons?
I think the point he was trying to make was like George Floyd had the whole world protested literally, and that I mean even
I don't listen to what white people say about black people.
that didn't occur. Which like I think the problem is one
That is not
the day you set it on, and two the reality is like
You white
you
people
as a
not
black
people.
person should you as a white person should not say that.
Joe,
You
look
shouldn't
at this.
Compare black men's
My
deaths.
fans say you're not Pete.
How do y'all feel about the pushing P agenda?
I don't
It's
like
already
it.
bothering me.
It's
I'm over
funny.
it.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm never.
Quote Pete.
I'm never a hater of like whatever wave people are riding, because I understand it's a wave and that's how waves work. But this one's already annoying me,
Yes.
and it's very young, and I can't imagine.
All I've seen is like funny things about it.
I've
That's why
seen
I'm not
funny
upset.
things too, but I just see people really using it like.
Yeah, I don't, and see that's
Really
that's what I
using
love,
it.
because the people that I follow both on Twitter and on IG are not like seriously out here telling us a Pete. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
know a lot of
everything is.
people. Well, no, I don't know a lot, but like I'm seeing a lot of real usage and a lot of sarcastic
Yes.
usage.
I'm straight
and, like,
sarcasm.
and the funniness of it like
I mean,
is
using it
great.
at work all the time.
but
Like this not Pete.
It'd be
That wouldn't be very P of her.
it'd be killing me.
I didn't
Nah,
know
if I was
Gunna and
Chloe, I
Chloe
would've
were a
never
thing.
talked to him.
They're
Well,
not.
they're
like
not a thing. They're
No.
according to
They
both
just
of them,
popped
they
out
are
together.
close friends. But I think he made it seem like they
Can't
are
have a
dating,
song
but
where you say
are not together, and he's not looking to get into a relationship.
She out
push
sang
right
him
out
on the song
with-
too.
Duh.
She's a singer.
But he be sounding good. Pause.
Yeah, but
Auto tune.
how is it gay for a man to sound good?
I don't know. You know, we can't do anything. These
I'll
days.
cut you
True.
right out,
We
Will.
can't take you.
How do
we
you
can't take
sing
lunch.
that on a song with a close friend? Granted, you know what I'm saying? You
Because
could act
it's
in a
music.
movie, you know what I'm saying, and make out with somebody and y'all are
Exactly.
close friends. But
I
I
have
don't know.
sex scenes
bro.
with people,
Yep.
and
I know, but
Me.
that's,
That's the only reason why.
I feel like that's different.
Why do you always?
What did he say?
this man
You
gives-
say the most questionable.
Like,
What did he say? I'm listening this time.
We need
Oh my
clickbait.
God.
Hannah not
why? Why?
So somebody got to do it. Somebody got to pick up the slack. I'll just hold the torch. All right. I was kind of joking.
I don't even know what he said, but I'm gonna hear when I listen back.
I can't repeat it because then Ashton will get mad at me.
I'm glad you're not.
Do you guys have like top highly anticipated album movie for the year?
Doctor
Kanye's
Strange.
documentary.
Who?
Ye's documentary.
Oh, Genius.
Doctor Strange. not coming this year.
Genius.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is
No,
coming
yeah,
out in April.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, yes,
I'm
Doctor
excited for that.
It's about to get
I'm
late.
excited for Moon Knight.
Yo,
Moon Knight.
What is
that
that?
is gonna be so sad now.
It is a.
What is?
Is that an
Moon
anime?
Knight?
No, that's
it's
a
a
Marvel TV show.
series
on
is
Disney Plus.
coming in March,
So
starring
what?
Oscar Isaac as
Moon Knight. The
Moon
character
Knight is
Moon
a
Knight.
character
Okay, why is it gonna be sad?
because an actor
actor
in
died.
it just died in a terrifying ski accident, and he's like an important actor. He plays Midnight Man.
Oh, it's gonna start soon.
Yeah, it comes out in like March, right?
Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, Ethan Hawke. Ethan
He
Hawke looks
died?
like. No, Ethan
Oh.
Hawke didn't. I didn't say the actor's name because
Yeah.
y'all aren't gonna know him. He's French. His name's Gaspard Ulliel,
Yeah,
and he's
I
37.
thought that he was
Oh, is
the
he? He's
main
like one of
actor.
the main people.
No,
in the
Oscar
show?
Isaac is Moon Knight.
Yes.
But
Oh.
Gaspard
I thought he
Ulliel
was
plays
Oscar
Midnight
Isaac.
Man, and he will be important.
Yeah, I just saw his name in Moon Knight. And I said, oh no.
If Oscar Isaac died, the world would have stopped spinning for half a second.
I'm saying because first of all, he's
He's-
not just Moon Knight.
But he's on fire right now.
He
Like,
is.
He's a phenomenal actor. Oscar Isaac.
Hmm.
Have you watched any of the new any of the new Star Wars movies? He was a pilot. In, oh, never mind.
I said yeah.
Oh, he was a pilot. He was the
He's-
pilot with the
The pilot?
the pilot with the ball R2D2.
Yeah.
Did you see Dune? That's I was gonna go to Dune.
Yeah, the
Oh yeah, I
pilot.
forgot.
he's
Yeah.
the dad.
I forgot he was. I was trying to.
Have we
just
talked about
get
this?
some-
We talked about
Yeah,
it.
we talked about Dune when it first dropped.
Moon Knight.
I'm glad that there's gonna be other movies.
Yeah, he was skiing in
Zendaya
France,
was in that joint
where
for
he's
10
from, and
minutes.
Boy,
They get
It's
snow
it's
in
not.
France?
Because they don't perform to her for the whole
there's
movie.
snow everywhere.
Ooh.
Well, not everywhere, but
I didn't know there was
Zendaya.
snow in France.
it's pretty northern country.
I love Zendaya.
It's like on the same
French
level as
Alps.
us.
That was two weird statements. I didn't know that there was snow in France. I love Zendaya.
Well, she
Like
said
back to
something.
I mean, they're only weird next to each other than regular as they are.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm the only person that I know personally. I know there are people. I'm not one of those guys who says I'm the only person, and there's clearly other people. But of the people I know personally, I'm like the only person who went into Dune knowing that the plan was for there to be a trilogy. And so,
Oh,
I
it's a
did not
trilogy.
know that.
I
yeah,
thought it
and
was
so
gonna be-
I went in, and then like the movie ended, and lots of people was like, "That, like, is that gonna be it?" I'm like, "No, there's gonna be a part
I mean,
two."
I knew
but
there was gonna
they
be
couldn't
another one,
greenlight
but I
it because it
didn't-
was solely based off the success of the first one.
I didn't like
Because the
the
Dune,
way it ended.
yeah, because the Dune that got made back in the '70s was abysmal.
This one was great, but
Yes,
it was just
It
like,
was good.
can I have more, please?
If
Well,
I
you
knew
will.
what it was
When Dune
before I
Part 2
went
is
in,
gonna
I would have
drop.
enjoyed it a lot more.
You knew what it was as far as like what it's about, or the fact that it's gonna
The
like.
fact that it's gonna be a trilogy.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is just like the beginning.
Yeah.
Like not even. Like,
I could understand how going in expecting a full narrative and then getting something that is not a full narrative like can be very jarring.
I was
And-
confused.
Yeah, a
This
lot
is
of
the
people
whole
were
movie,
just
for
like,
real?
I was so upset, nothing happened. I'm like, so much happened, but like to me, so much happened because I knew a whole story wasn't about to happen.
Yeah.
And so, like, I guess to someone who's expecting a full story, it's like only the beginning of the story happened.
Yes.
But I feel like very literally a lot occurred. Like,
Yes.
Yeah,
a lot
not
of things
that.
happened,
Yeah,
and it was
you
good.
can say
Yes,
a
it
lot
was
happened.
phenomenal.
I
was
just
about to
didn't
say
think
with
that
that,
was
you could
it.
say a lot happened.
Dune was
Slide
the
that.
Dune was the
But it
second
was
most
way
visually
easier to
stunning
follow.
movie I saw last year.
What was the first?
The Green Knight. Oh my god, that movie was gorgeous.
I don't even know what that
The
was.
Green Knight.
Yeah, starring Patel is his last name. Not name Neiman.
You know what I hate about working out?
Davish Patel.
I can't reach spots on my back to scratch anymore.
Crap.
What? Christian? I'm sorry, you was talking.
I said the thing I hate about working out.
The actor
I
from
can't
Lions.
reach spots on my back to scratch anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Dev.
Yeah, no, that's definitely.
You can't reach those spots because you're sore?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't either.
interesting.
This is probably
And there's
good.
spots that are normally reachable, which is the most annoying part.
Oh, okay. So it's not about the spots that like can't be reached. It's
Yeah.
about reachable spots, but the pain. You can't.
Oh, it has old buddy from Eternals in it.
And it's not even pain. For
Why
me,
was
it's not even
Eternals so-
pain.
Blah.
I don't
It
think it was
wasn't.
blah, but
I thought it was good.
I think it wasn't as good as most people wanted it to be. And I think
Yeah.
unfortunately
That.
it was right between Shang-Chi and No Way Home. And that's just a really difficult spot
Yes.
to be.
Yeah.
And-
Because
And-
Shang-Chi irritated me.
Well,
It was just,
with all the hype with Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok turned out to be way better.
Yes, but
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok was just a phenomenal
it
movie.
was
Yeah.
good.
I think
Because
they
they
finally
had
got
to
tired of
save the
making
Thor
bad
series.
Thors and they were like,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
really
Let's
gave
really
him, like,
make
a
this
real
one.
story for
It was like, yeah,
Fire.
you know how, like, you realize, like, how good we actually are? These are, like, not a good, we have no excuse to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have to really.
Thor and Thor the Dark World are two of the worst MCU movies ever.
Terrible.
They're
Awful. Is
They're
the Hulk considered
the one with Edward Norton.
Yeah.
awful?
I actually
'Cause-
liked the Edward Norton Hulk.
Because what's the name don't even have his own movie.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
Thank
That's
God
because-
though.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he
I don't
has
want to
to
see
be
Mark
one.
Ruffalo's
That's
Hulk by
because
himself.
the
I
Hulk
know.
that we saw is that Hulk, but
That man got pieced up.
I mean, it's just a different actor.
He ain't never been the same since Thanos put hands on him.
Shout out to the recast, good old MCU recasts. Edward
Apparently,
Norton,
the other
Terrence
guy's supposed to
Howard.
be coming back.
Edward Norton.
I guess as a variant or something.
That would be cool.
Variant? I like how they can do like the things
That would be cool.
with the variants.
Yeah, it would be.
The
I don't want to see.
multiverse?
I don't want to see him like as like a Hulk. I would like to see him like maybe
Yeah.
in a scene or cameo or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think about the upcoming shows with like She-Hulk and then the other?
I think
If
they
they're gonna
haven't.
be good, they're gonna be good.
I haven't watched Hawkeye yet, but from
Me
what I've
neither.
heard about Hawkeye and the spoiler that I know about,
My dad doesn't like it.
really, well, I've heard that it's really good. I just heard that it's.
cool.
I've heard.
Yeah, like it's.
I've heard it's really
like
good.
it.
I've heard it's the weakest of the Disney Plus shows so far.
It is.
But I've heard that it's still leagues ahead of any Marvel show before the Disney Plus era. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
What shows were there before the
there was Agent Carter. There was Agents of.
Shield.
Shield.
My
Yeah.
My mom watched that.
And those were
That's
not
funny
great,
because
right?
the shows on TV I didn't watch, but Disney Plus.
Because the shows on TV sucked.
Yes.
Because what
Yeah.
started it? Wanda and Vision,
WandaVision
Yes.
was
Fire.
Yeah.
Loki,
WandaVision, Loki.
Fire.
Then it was the one.
Falcon Winter
Winter
Soldier.
Soldier.
Fire.
What If? And then
I haven't seen What If yet. I gotta
You
watch
have
that.
to
I
watch-
heard it was
Just
alright.
make sure you at least watch
What-
the Doctor
what-
Strange.
what if?
episode.
Okay.
What? You haven't watched What If?
You need to
No.
watch What If
Oh, so you ain't even fully appreciate. Yeah, you gotta watch What If.
Appreciate what?
because it's good. It's really good.
Something involving No Way Home. There's just a deeper appreciation.
So I gotta watch What If,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then I'm going back to watch.
I thought What If wasn't gonna be canon, but once I finished watching it, I was like, this is absolutely gonna be canon, and I knew
Yes.
it was gonna be that. Like I was
Mhm.
like, oh, they're good. Yeah, meaning like it's gonna be a part of the MCU's like actual
Like,
story.
Yeah. they
I thought it
definitely
was-
put some hints.
I thought What If
Yeah.
was gonna be like, here's a little fun thing that we're gonna do,
No.
like where we
exactly what I
explore
thought.
different
It's
scenarios.
not.
But then as I was watching it, and once it ended, I was like, this is gonna become canon, and it's gonna be that exact thing. So when I finished watching No Way Home, I was so happy. I was like, let's go!
You know those guys on TikTok that be like, they have the theories.
Yeah.
I have to
The
scroll
Asian
past
dudes?
them every time I see a What If or No Way Home theory.
They dairies be sold.
There's lots of
They
wild
They be
theories.
wild.
They be
Yeah.
deep.
Like
There's lots
all
of
the
wild
ones
theories.
for
So I heard this
Squid
theory.
Game. I still haven't finished Squid Game, by the way.
What?
How?
Yeah.
I better get ready. Season 2 dropping next year.
You think it'll be I don't think it'll be as big as season 1.
No,
I don't think it'll be as good.
I don't think it'll be as good, but I
Did
think
y'all
it'll be
watch
as
it in
big.
English or in Japanese with the subtitles?
It's Korean,
Korean.
and I watched it in Korean.
I'm so
with
sorry.
subtitles.
I'm so sorry.
Got that little thing.
You gotta just have it going always.
Hey.
You never know when Christian gonna drop one.
Yo, you know what's funny? That just reminded me of a long time ago. I was chilling in the car with one of my homies and another homegirl because a friend of mine was in the house talking to a girl. I don't know what they was talking about, but we had to leave. We sitting outside in the car. There was this girl that went to Shiloh who was, I believe, Vietnamese, and I said something, that Asian girl, and my homie in the back was like, "Ooh, you going to hell? You just called that girl." He's like, "Why you just say that Asian girl?" I was like, "Cause I was pointing at an Asian girl." And he was like, "How you know she Asian? She could be Korean." But I tell you,
Hey, yo, they got
when it registered, I was like, "Yo, Korean is a type of Asian, you idiot." And I forgot what song he was singing, but he was back there just singing some stupid song. And the girl was just like, "You are dumb. You are really dumb." It's like, bruh, that was he sounded that out with so much confidence.
That
He
is
was like,
hilarious.
"How you know she Asian? She could be Korean." I was like, "Yo,
That's crazy.
what do you mean? You went the opposite direction."
You know he gotta eat with a bib and a helmet on. That's crazy.
It was Kobe.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
bro, this man has a whole business
Not
degree.
a face and a name to the crime.
He works at a lawyer or some other place.
Man, you dropping deets?
Yeah, nah. Kobe, if you see this, just know I have the video, and I will send it to her. Don't play with me.
Don't get us sued.
But to answer your question, yeah, I watched it in Korean with the subtitles, unless I was eating, and then I put it
can't watch
on
it.
the dub
Yeah,
just
I
so I
don't
could
like
eat
it.
It bothers
because
me. Like,
I hate
no.
missing
He loves
things.
doing that.
I can't.
But-
I watch
I
subtitles even
can't.
when it's English.
Me too.
How about sometimes when it's English
Yeah,
too?
but I also watch it in the language because I don't like to.
No, so if
It don't
sometimes are a distraction to you, that shows me how you watch things because they're at the bottom of the screen. Just don't look down there.
I be
If you're
looking.
distracted, like
you there for then.
you get.
I
Because I actually
I
read them.
eat it.
But I'm saying if you're one of those people
and
who's
don't
like
turn off
they're
my subtitles
distracting.
either, because I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Somebody
What-
turn off your subtitles.
Yes. Well, back.
Available episode on the play button. Like when you're looking at TV shows, you have to go down, go to the season, and
Yeah.
then go to the episode.
Yeah, that is true.
Like I clicked to watch Euphoria, the second episode. I just
and
clicked.
the first episode
And
started.
the
yeah.
pilot was starting, and I was like, "What is going on?" Now I gotta go back and actually go to it.
I have a few complaints with HBO Max. Content wise, once again, I still stand by that they have the best content of all streaming services. But
Makes sense.
they
Definitely.
have one interface problem that I don't like. Two, but really mainly one. There is nowhere that you can go to see your entire list. So if you add things to your list, like on the homepage, there's an option that says my list. But if you have more than the amount of things that, like, once you scroll all the way down, it'll stop at some point. If you have things that are past that, you cannot go anywhere to see your whole list where you could access that. You just would have to then,
Delete some.
remove things from your
What?
list. I
They
hate
like y'all gonna watch this show.
I hate that because it's like I have a lot
of
of things in my list, and now it's like, well, I don't even remember what's in my I don't remember what y'all got or not. So if I come on and I'm like, I want to watch something from my list, it has to be one of the last 30 or 40 things I added. Like,
One of the last 30 or 40.
but my list be having hundreds of things in them, and I feel like you got all this stuff on here. Like, let me add whatever I want. You know what I mean? And then let me access that.
right.
No, I'm sorry. If you got more than 30,
In a
just
collective
take some
way.
stuff off your list because you're not watching it fast enough.
What do you mean? I watched 131 new movies last year.
Them is movies.
No, excuse
But on
me.
your list.
Hold on. I think I got that number wrong. Let me see. Oh yeah, I watched 131 new movies last year
I watched like
and
7.
28 new TV shows.
I watched like 7.
How did you do that?
Because it was a
Before-
goal. I didn't reach either goal. My goal was 40 shows and 150 movies. And I would have hit
You got
both.
110 is still a lot of movies.
No, 131.
You
I
got
would have.
close.
That's
I would
still a
have.
lot of
hit 150 movies if I watched the movies that I've already seen before less. I watched well over 250 movies last year.
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of movies I've already seen before,
Yeah.
probably at the same clip, if not more.
Yeah.
Then I watch new things.
So you don't mind watching stuff?
I hope I
TV?
get off.
I literally,
I would
do
watch
that
the
all
same thing.
I'm
over and
that
over and over
person.
again.
I will watch
Yeah.
something. I have to,
I have,
especially if
you
I
have
love
like a month
something.
limit.
On what?
Like, if you watch a movie, do you wait like a certain amount of months before you watch it again?
The only thing I have something similar to that
Am I
is
weird for doing that?
I'm obsessed with Jingle Jangle, and I try and hold myself to only watching it in December, because if not, I'd watch it all the time. Like I definitely
I
have
feel
a
that way
comfort for
with
that
my
movie.
Did y'all watch Women of the Movement?
Not
You
yet.
watch what?
I haven't started it yet.
Women of the Movement, Emmett Till's mother's story.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't
Mamie
It's on
Till.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Hulu be pumping documentaries and stuff.
Hey,
out.
what happened to
Crazy.
What happened to
It's on Lifetime too.
The
but
Fire
it's
Show.
on Hulu.
Little Fires Everywhere.
Forest
Yes.
Fire?
That's a good show.
Isn't that
It's a
only
great
supposed
show.
to be a limited series?
Yeah, it's a limited series.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it?
over.
Yeah, that was it.
Oh man.
It was a great show though.
I still have
What
to
is
watch
that?
it. Little
Little
Fires
Fires
Everywhere with
Everywhere?
Reese Witherspoon
Reese
and
Witherspoon,
Kerry.
Kerry Washington. Yeah.
Thank
It's
you,
a
'cause
really good show.
my mouth just decided to
Goats.
quit when I said Kerry Washington. It said Cat. I was like, where's the rest of her name?
Very, very good show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I saw clips of it.
Yeah, I will, it's on my continue watching
Watching it with
Hulu
you.
because I fell asleep watching something, and Hulu's a bit overzealous. Everyone else, you're done watching something. Here's some other things you'd like, suggestions.
Be going.
Hulu said, here's another one
Yep,
for you.
Yep.
Another one.
Not even related. It's a different genre, my guy.
It just throws it up there.
You just watched Pig? Well, here's Run, starring Sarah Paulson. They're not. What? That literally happened to me. And my controller was like across the couch, and I was like, Sarah Paulson. So I watched it. They successfully bullied me into watching something I had no intent on watching.
That
Like,
sounds
Yes.
sound like it's by design to me.
It is by design, but how dare you? The disrespect is immense. I hate it. I've been watching American Dragon Jake Long recently.
Really?
Yeah,
I
it's
was
my
literally
go
talking
to
about
sleep
that.
How
show.
is it watching it now?
American Dragon Jake
I
Long.
haven't- I
Is
haven't-
Which one?
Is that the first one?
Is it the one where he was bulky or the one where he was skinny?
Well, it's the same show. They
But-
just changed animation style after season 1.
Well, which animation style are you?
I started from the beginning, so the
The
original
bulky?
one.
I like that.
But I'm gonna watch the whole thing through because I was one of the few people who liked both styles equally.
Whatever happened to Samurai Jack?
What do you mean? What happened to it? It ended.
Yeah, I was gonna say he
He killed
completed
the
the
guy?
mission.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe he didn't and showed mercy. I don't know. But the show's over
Yeah,
for a long time now.
Samurai Jack.
But yeah, American Dragon Jake Long's my go to sleep show, and
Okay.
That's the
man,
show that taught me about credit cards.
I haven't got to that episode yet.
You have
Oh.
it was in season 1. You will.
I'm on like episode 8 or 9 right now.
Probably later.
I just don't. Maybe it's because I was a kid and I was thinking like Jake. Maybe I don't know. I didn't realize how unsufferable he is. He is an imbecile, idiot of the highest degree. He doesn't
Really?
deserve. Yes, he's
If I
an
watch it
idiot.
now, I probably,
And he's so-
I probably
He's
would get
so every episode, every episode he learns the lesson at the end, but it carries no weight next time.
Yeah.
He's not even like a little bit like, maybe I should listen to Grandpa. No, Gramps, I got it. I'm the Mac Daddy Dragon. You know how I give it up. Oh, I messed up. Learn lesson. Thanks, Gramps. Next episode. Gramps, I got it. When are you going to learn? Oh my.
That
It's
was just
just,
yesterday, so
I'm like,
10 minutes later, you was.
I'm just like, come on, Jake. Like, he's to the point where, like, I low-key be like, man, can the Hunts clan please beat him up?
Oh
Like,
my god.
put hands on him. And he be getting beat up a lot. I know it's early in his dragon, and I'm early in the show, but he be really getting his butt handed to him. Like,
he has gone violent.
he don't have hands for real. Like, his little tail moves, like, it's alright. He's not beating nobody in fisticuffs. Like,
You know who thought they had hands?
Hunt's girl
until,
be kicking his behind.
until they realized they didn't have hands?
Ben 10.
Nah, Danny Phantom.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Danny low-key had hands till he met people with hands. And it was like,
He was like, oh,
he
nah,
does
it's
not have
different.
hands whatsoever.
Different.
Yeah, that is very true.
But now
I
Benton
love
had
that
too
first
many,
song.
like, he had too many weapons to use to not have hands. This man literally had an alien that was called 4 Arms. That had 4 arms. It was was the strongest of. He had one that had super speed, one that was a literal diamond, a literal crystal.
Yeah, that one.
Like
Is Mortal
that one
Kombat
was
still on
cool.
HBO Max?
The
Kinda
movie?
wanna watch
Yeah,
that
it's a
movie.
HBO. It's a Warner Brothers movie, so
It actually
it
wasn't
went
bad.
away and then came back.
I watched
Really?
that on the
You
plane
enjoyed that
ride
movie?
somewhere.
Yeah. You didn't like it?
I hated it. I'm exaggerating. I disliked it.
No, I liked it.
It was better than every other Mortal Kombat movie that's
Yeah,
existed.
there's
That's a
that.
very low bar. They were some
But
of the worst
very
movies
low.
just ever.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I thought it was cool. I didn't love it though.
I liked it.
I disliked it. I liked the direction that they went in and making it about a new character.
Yeah,
But
that was cool.
Kung Lao.
But it
I
was
hated
weird.
everyone's like power moment, like the moment they got that. I hated all of them. They were all weird.
Well, I mean, it's a corny movie.
They're
I
all,
know,
yeah,
but like
I like
forced.
corny movies.
corny movies have to like do it a way where like there's a certain ways and certain balance and stuff. I just feel like I disliked that movie more than I disliked Space Jam 2.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it.
I had to suffer through it.
I just realized how many characters was owned by Disney watching that movie.
What's funny is people were like, Space Jam 2 just felt like a big Warner Brothers commercial. And it did.
It was just
But-
a flex. Like that was all just a flex.
What's hilarious about it is,
I saw it there.
I saw the Iron Giant. Even though I knew
oh, you're
that.
talking about
I
in the
love the
movie.
Iron
Yeah,
Giant.
like
I thought
at
y'all
the
was, I
basketball
thought you was
scene.
talking about like he saw it and then just I was like, where's there? Is what location you're referring to? But
Yeah,
you're saying it in
Yeah, I saw the Ice King.
No, there was tons of stuff. Wow, the Knicks are just. I'm so glad I'm not like. What is this?
Bro, how did the Lakers beat the Jazz and they lose to the Pacers?
No, they didn't lose to the Pacers. They were up 15, and then let the Pacers come back and beat them up.
Being a Lakers fan is kind of the same as being a Falcons fan.
No, the Lakers won a championship 3 years ago.
True.
Did
2
y'all
years
like
ago.
Encanto?
I haven't seen
I
it yet.
love
I still gotta watch it.
Encanto.
I'll probably watch it this
It's
weekend.
so cute.
I wanted her to
It's
get
so
a power, and the fact that she doesn't.
He
Bruh.
just said.
Thank you. Spoiler alert.
He just said.
I could have sworn you were the one that told me that.
No, I told you that the premise of the show of the movie is that our whole family has powers and she don't. I didn't know she don't end up with one. I kind of was expecting her to end up with one.
My fault. That was an honest mix-up.
Now I'm going just for the songs. Jesus.
Those songs lit
The
though.
songs are fine though.
Them
The
songs
songs are
lit.
good.
My bad.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel.
I took Tegan and Tori.
Lin-Manuel kind of ran last year, low key.
No, he did. He
Between
did.
In the Heights, Lin-Manuel Miranda. Between In the Heights.
Vanessa.
Between In the Heights, Tick Tick Boom, and then closing it out with Encanto.
I gotta watch that.
He's
Speaking
doing
of
Tick
Vanessa,
Tick
you
Boom.
know
is
Valeria
amazing.
works out of my gym.
Crunch.
Yeah.
I'll be dropping people whole government names on our podcast.
He can beat them out.
They ain't gonna watch it.
What we at time wise?
Late.
Yeah, I figured. Well, I was saying, what are we at time wise? Like the amount of time on the episode.
About an hour and 40.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was asking. All right. Well, before we outro, you guys know the tradition. Oh, I didn't do my least favorites. I have one too. So really quick, God's favorite, least favorite. I hate that all windshields are not hydrophobic. Why do hydrophobic technology exist if not for windshields? Who cares about your shoe getting chilly on it? It's way more important that rain just slides off my window rather than impairing my vision. Anyways,
They would make up an excuse as to
yeah,
why
they
it's
would.
not.
I'm sure there's a real one, but I don't care. With that being said, oh my God, no.
You forgot the question.
I had it. I've had it all day. I thought of it earlier today, and it had to do with it. Like it was related to a TikTok I saw. Oh, I remember. Zombie apocalypse. You're not allowed to like have a gun, and like you guys know the video game Days Gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, just imagine a massive horde of zombies is coming towards you, right?
Okay.
Now, you don't have to kill all the zombies. You just have to do as impressive of a showing as you can in your first 60 seconds to scare all the other zombies away. You cannot use any, like, firearm. What is your weapon of choice? To try and put on the best show that you can, put in the most damage to make the rest of these zombies leave
Is
you
a
be.
nail gun considered a firearm?
No. Even though you do have to fire it, I will let a nail gun.
Well, I don't want to use that.
A
I
bow
wanna
and arrow
use
with
this-
grenades.
I feel like that's kind of cheating. I'll let it rock because I don't think you can
A
use a bow and
samurai
arrow
sword.
very well.
He said a horde of zombies. Did you not hear that?
Yeah.
You know that's
weapon.
close combat, right?
He said that's his weapon, samurai sword.
He said I have to make an impression.
That's
I'm
not gonna scare
impressing
zombies away, bro.
These zombies with this, bro. If I'm cutting heads off, sling.
I think you're underestimating how easy or how hard it is to cut through a human body.
It's
It's
a
not that
rotting.
hard.
It's gonna be a lot easier. It's rotting. And
It's very
no,
hard.
And they have no
You don't know how to
motivation.
swing a sword properly.
Bro, that's not a part of the scenario.
It doesn't have to be. That's
You don't know how to use a bow and arrow properly.
Exactly.
I know.
Because I've known you your whole life, and if you knew how to use a bow and arrow, that would have came up at some point.
I mean, I know how to use one. I mean, I might not be the best shot.
Man, you're not no
Legolas,
Legolas, okay?
And you're not Legolas.
Of course not. Not
Alright.
right now. I ain't practiced like them. But I bet you I can't be.
So why he can't become
Samurai
Tom
Jack.
Cruise in The Last Samurai?
Exactly.
I just imagine you hacking and not doing anything.
Oh my
Wow.
God. What?
gives me no credit.
It's not about the weapon. This is about the man. This is a criticism.
I mean, hey, if he would have said something that was like, if he would have said something like a tomahawk, I would have been like,
A tomahawk?
like
What
a
do we do
series
with a
of
tomahawk?
tomahawks.
Where are you getting them from? This isn't a video
You know the
game.
things that they use at the All-Star game, something like that. Just got to roll on. He only got 60 seconds. Is he standing in one spot?
That's up to you. It's your fight. I'm just saying you gotta choose a
Am
weapon.
I surrounded or are they coming from one
They all
direction?
coming from one direction, but it's a wide horde, so they're gonna
Easy.
end up surrounding you if they get too close.
Just throw grenades on that. Man, it'd be alright.
Grenades on a tomahawk?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's your weapon?
Samurai sword.
What's your weapon, Ashton?
I think I would get one of those bats like Neiman from The Walking Dead.
Okay.
Nails.
That's another close combat.
I mean, I feel like that's.
I'm not close
I can
combat.
get one good whack and I'm greasy.
You have.
Yeah.
Can you
Are
repeat
they-
the scenario
What
for this
type- no,
young
no,
man
no.
right here? Because
We
he
need to
is
clarify
not
this.
completely
Let me just clarify
understanding.
this.
You
What
have to
type
make
of
an
zombie
impression.
are we fighting? Are we
Oh
talking?
my
Are we
God.
fighting?
Well, you're fighting Days Gone zombies because
Okay.
the video I saw was about Days Gone, but y'all don't know that video game. But
I
it's
don't know it.
they're pretty. Well, there are special types, but not any of the special ones. Just the regular old zombies, but they're in massive hordes, and they're running and
What's that movie with
they
Brad
can climb.
World War Z.
World War Z.
Pitt? Or does it, that type of zombie?
Similar esque.
Okay.
I didn't watch the
Give me
movie,
a
but I
samurai
know
sword.
the visual.
Actually, they was kind of fast.
the zombies in Days
Bro,
Gone
they
are pretty
scaled a
fast.
300-foot wall by piling on top of each other.
These zombies in Days Gone do the same type of thing.
They're like
They can
ants. They're like
And I don't have
full-blown
a gun.
ants.
climb. No
Why
firearms.
do they give me no gun, man?
Because that's the point. If you just
Cheating.
you would just choose a different type of gun, and everyone would choose a fully automatic. It's not very.
I'm just creating as much crawlers as I
It
can.
doesn't show as much of your personality when you can use a
Give me
gun.
my samurai sword, man.
So samurai
We're
sword,
going out like
bat
Jon
with the
Snow
nails,
in the battle.
Bow and arrow.
bow and arrow.
With grenades,
Um,
if possible.
my first answer, I felt like my first answer is what I would choose, but I feel like it doesn't count. But my first answer is a hippo.
See, when you say weapon, you think
A hippo is a weapon.
I mean,
Especially
yeah,
if I'm
it
his trainer.
listens.
Well, clearly, look, if you can become Legolas, then I can train my hippo. So, hippo was my original choice, but I was like, let me choose something that's, I guess that makes sense. And so,
That makes sense. Hippos
Uh,
kill more people than sharks.
hippos is in the field. So, with that being said, I went back and forth between
What's hippos beef with us? Never mind.
They're just an evil
maybe
thing.
we have beef with hippos,
Yeah. they're just-
but also hippos are like
Weren't they like
Very
supposed to be
aggressive.
cute as babies?
they are
They
cute
are
as
babies.
They're
But
just
they
also
want
weapons
to
of
kill
mass
you.
destruction on cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
Including the cocaine hippos. Thanks, Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then I was like, okay, I'm stuck between two
I
things.
gotta watch Narcos too.
And so, you've never seen it?
No, the Pablo, yes, but the Mexican.
Oh.
I guess that's about El Chapo.
No.
It's not. Why? Who would it be about?
You know people sell cocaine before El Chapo.
Yeah, but I mean, he's the most notable. But go ahead.
It's the same time frame. They're not jumping into the future 10 years. So, dang it. What we just
Your
talking about?
weapon.
Stuck
Hippos.
between
You're
two.
stuck between
Yes, yeah. So then, once it couldn't be a hippo, it was I was stuck between similar to Ashton, but not a bat. Do you got? There was this wrestler named Abyss who used to be on TNA Impact, and he had this weapon called Janice, and it was just like a 2x4 with mad nails in it. So I was thinking like either Janice,
Yeah.
but then I was like, well, with each hit, that is going to deteriorate, right? Like with each hit,
Yeah.
it'll take on its own wear and tear. And if I'm going crazy in them 60 seconds, it could deteriorate in them 60 seconds to a point where towards the end, they, you know what I mean, get the drop on me. So then I was like, well, let me try and think of something a bit more sustainable. So that led me to, you guys know the things like it's like a saw wheel. It's like, and they use it to like slice like big slices of meat in like a butcher shop. One of those, just like the top half of it, like with the
Okay.
actual saw, but it can still turn on. So like,
Yeah.
So like,
just like this sawed wheel in my hand. Yeah.
My first thought was a chainsaw, but
No, not a chainsaw.
no, for me, my first thought was a
Oh,
chainsaw.
yeah.
But then that's like I'm thinking I can extend the sword. Like if I can extend my arm and then extend the sword, I have
That
that.
creates distance.
Right.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
But a chainsaw is a lot smaller. So
And you
then-
gotta.
My method for the saw would just be to
Yeah.
spin.
No,
Yeah.
literally.
And I know that I can spin for a good 65 seconds and then like still like be okay enough to not like fall immediately.
Mhm.
Once past 65, it's like I'm gonna fall before I stop. So that's just my best bet. But yeah, with that being said, it's the YSO Podcast for the youth, by the youth, being a voice of youth, giving a voice to the youth. And we hate ASMR.
I wasn't old until just now, which is weird.
Well, I haven't called for like
Anemia.
10.
You know where you guys can follow me.
Oh.
I can't remember any of my socials right now, so somebody else go.
The villain. 53.
Yeah, there we go. On Instagram at thevillain.5390. On Twitter at RIP Lyons. On TikTok at the Goon of June. Should probably get some uniformity and make all of my things one thing. We'll work on that for 2022.
Check the description.
Mm-hmm.
But my TikTok, hold up, because I dropped a video. It's not really like, you know, that important. But, it's the same as my Instagram, so check the description.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ashton Gates with 2 S's.
You can follow me on Twitter at _skip_to_my_shoe and on Instagram at _skip_to_my_shoe. And also on Instagram at prod by ck.tve if you want any updates about like my music and stuff. So yeah, you can do that.
And you can follow the podcast at Instagram, on Instagram at YSO Podcast, on Twitter at YSO_podcast. Subscribe to the YouTube, click the notification bell, comment, and find us on streaming platforms. There we go. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, YSO Podcast, You Speak Out Podcast, Podcast for You.
I'll let y'all, man.
My back hurt.
I don't want to miss
it died again?
2 days in the gym, but I think I might have to because I want to go get a dang guitar in order to get
At the end there, while we were doing like the end of the outro, I'm just like, I open Instagram and click on the first story, and something told me, nothing told me, but like once I saw it, I was like, something told me like, why did you click on her story? Because that was the first thing I saw.
That's why you was.
I was like,
That's why you couldn't think.
I was like, oh my god,
Oh my god.
get out of here. Funnily enough, I've been following that girl since it's 10th year. I've been following her since like I was in high school. Well, we were in high school. Yeah.
I'm supposed to know her?
Well, you're gonna know her once I explain this connection of her.
Oh, okay.
So she was just someone who went to Tucker, who I was like, oh man, yeah, she's fine, and I followed her, and then I've been following her for all